Hello, board members. How are we doing this fine Thursday afternoon? Well, I hope. As it is Tactical Thursday, we are going to be returning to and potentially finally finishing on Citizen Sleeper. We did a bunch of endings last week. Something is telling me that there's at least one more to find, and we have the DLC we can start today. We basically handled all of the storylines. There's one area we haven't been able to go to because we don't have the raw skill to do it. And that's something I think we can fix this stream and explore that area, which is the broken spaced zero pressurized zone of the eye. And if that's the case, there might be a secret there. We don't know for sure. It might just be a way to get free, I don't know, salvage or something. But we don't have any standing ways to get an ending as of right now. So we're going to either have to find another ending or we're just in an infinite loop now that we've used up all of our other endings. Last week we found a bunch of endings. We did the Cinderella ending. We did the Bliss ending, which we'd only known about very shortly. We found the primary ending. The first one we chose was becoming part of the hive mind of the plant in the Greenway. There was... What's the other one? There was one other ending, I think. There's Bliss, the Cinderella, the Hive Mind, and I think we found one other one. I'm trying to remember what the other one was. Oh man, what was the other one now? Dang, I can't remember. I think there was one other one we found. But today what we're planning on doing is there's some indication there might be a secret... One secret ending we haven't found yet, and also there's the DLC. So we're going to start the DLC today, because presumably, unless it's meant to be an in-module thing, we will probably burn right through the DLC. Alright, because, I mean, we've handled basically everything else. The Flotilla Aid, which is the DLC, is really the only thing we have left. There's the only other thing I wanted to look at, and we do have the point for it, was... over here, on the edge of the Greenway, we have... Where is it? Oh, this might be it over here. The Wastes, which requires a +1 in Endure, it looks like. And I'm wondering if there's something in here that isn't a secret. Because the problem we have right now is we have no endings left to get otherwise. There's no other, final ending to get. We're just in a permanent loop of just, growing plants, making potion, and then taking the potion. So there's not really much for us to do. Unless that's the ending, is just you get to play forever, which is fine. We have so much food for them, by the way. Alright, so... Welcome to episode Flux. Flux is the first of 3 episodic updates to Citizen Sleeper, telling the story of the refugee flotilla which has arrived at the Eye. All 3 episodes, Flux, Refugee, and Purge, are now available. Bleeding the Supply Grill action will begin the episode, but be aware that it is intended for late module play, which... It doesn't get much later than there's nothing else to do, right? So, let's give her a shot and see what happens. Or not, if it will not accept my mushrooms. Here we go. Alright, action completed. Boom. Alright, it's Peak. You came! Peak smiles as you walk into the clambering Briar's cargo hold, behind a glooming Essie. Cautious XPR Spacer. You came! Oh, wait, oh, sorry. They brought mushrooms! As he tosses the mushroom caps onto a crate, raising her eyebrows at Peak. Peak gives her a look. Thank you, Sleeper. They pick up one and sniff at it. Are these edible? I mean, technically, I think you can eat it as is. Try it. He squints at you and the mushroom before delicately putting it back down. I'll wait. We're not so used to fresh produce, as this is scaring crates as she speaks. Doesn't look up. Hawthorne doesn't have much in the way of farming. Hawthorne? The installation we grew up on, as she wipes off her hands on a rag. XPR loves to name their property after natural things. but that's about as far as their relationship with the plant life goes. Hawthorn is a natural thing. I guess it's a type of plant. XPR? This is an interrogation, she glares. Either way, we are done with that place, which is all you need to know. She lashes back against the crate she was securing. We're going to need more than a few mushrooms if you want to help those refugees, though. Why are they trapped? You tell me. It's your station administration that set up the cordon. Peek gives Essie a look. Sorry, she looks at Peek. I know this isn't on you. Essie stands and walks over to the mushrooms you brought, placing them into a small container with care. The problem isn't just getting supplies, it's getting them through to the ships. Can't you just fly around? And to get the Briar Seas from breaching quarantine? No thanks. She laughs. We were lucky we got here before the cordon was set up. That's the only reason we're on this side. Why is there a quarantine? Pink jumps in. The Eye is a closed-loop life support system, just like any orbital installation. Any unfamiliar illness or significantly increased strain on life support could cause a cascading collapse in its systems. As she scuffs. Are we making excuses for these bureaucrats now? Peaky turns. We're being realistic, Essie. These people aren't an increased strain. They're living people, Essie stares at you. Even calling them refugees is just a way of turning a lot of scared, desperate people into a single monolithic group. As he slides a container full of mushrooms into one of the cargo hold racks. Looks, as much as I'd like to chat, we're still got a lot of space to fill in this hold. So if you're going to help, I think Essie is trying to say we need your help, and quickly. Nikki says, glancing at her, the refugees behind the cordon, they won't be able to hold out indefinitely. We need to get supplies to them in the next 12 cycles, or... She steps forward, or Havogen will have to bear the responsibility for whatever happens next. I'll help if I can. He looks nervously at Essie. They were hoping for something more concrete. There's 3 things we still need to secure. Water, food, and scrap components for ship repairs. She gestures to the storage containers around the hold. Water we can find a way to source, or, my preference, just siphon off from the underground reservoirs in the Greenway. Raises the eyebrows. Essie. She ignores them. For food, things could be tricky. These mushrooms are delicious, I'm sure, but no way we can get enough volume to feed a flotilla. However, I saw an algae stack on the way over. If we can get access. Not more stealing, Essie Peak sighs. I didn't say steal. She stares at them indignantly. If we can get access, we can work the stack, harvest some algae for the flotilla. Those stacks turn out vast quantities in short time scales. I think I own both of those things. Oh, by the way, Advanced Lamp, how are you doing? Besides the fun stream, how are you doing generally? And their repair components? Peek asks tentatively. As he smiles, just look around you, Peek. This whole place is made of scrap. She shoots you a glance. And I'm sure the Sleeper has their sources. They can bring them right here. We got everything before time runs out. Perfect. We got most of it. Also good. Either way, in 12 cycles, I'm going to take what we have and go. But how will you get through? As she shoulders a container. I thought I'd leave that up to you, Peek. I'm doing alright, feeling tired after building. Yeah. I mean, streaming anything can be a little exhausting, and I have to imagine being able to, like, doing physical stuff while streaming has got to be very tiring. I mean, I've done some painting streams, but I don't know if that's the same thing as trying to build little Legos, because you got to kind of, like, stare at them and get really into them. Whereas with the painting, it's a little bit bigger strokes, especially when I'm painting, because I'm not very good, so... They flinch. Are you serious? Essie, I know we said we would help the flotilla, but at what point? They stop, take a breath. Take this seriously, Essie. I don't know the first thing about breaching a quarantine. A quarantine cordon. You also happen to be talking to a master hacker who knows more hackers. Maybe not, Essie looks at you, but they might. They slipped out from an Epson art facility, didn't they? Plus, they've been here longer than us. You're always trying to get me to find help. Well, here it is. She gestures at you. Help. He glances between the two of you. I swear to... They sigh. I need to think this one through. Meet me at the cordon in a couple of cycles. Sleeper. Maybe we can figure something out. Meanwhile, as Essie meets your eye, you can help me acquire the supplies discreetly, she smiles. We have to keep this quiet. Keep Havogen out of the loop. Once they get suspicious, this is all over for us. They all suddenly seem a little too real, too dangerous. You've only just found your feet on the Eye. It's not a time for causing trouble. That's a bold-faced lie. We are well established on the Eye and have stuff going pretty smoothly. Come find us. We'll be out there trying to pull this all together. As she goes to the back of the hold to start packing another container. Peek, come help me. He glances back at her. Sleeper, look, we didn't choose this either. They lower their voice. Help us finish this. We set up a base camp on the Broken Spoke. You are welcome to rest there at many cots while we work on this. They smile. We are all in this together. Peek, as she shouts, and they walk back into the hold to help with the container. As you leave the climbing briar, you look out at the broken edge of the ice ring, where Havage's cordon blinks with tiny red lights. What are you going to get what are you getting yourself into? Okay. Briar's camp. Okay. What are we looking for? Well, with other doses of stabilizer, sleeper bodies actively decay. Corporate insurance policy to... Wait, what? Oh, this is just a room for me to sleep in. Never mind. I thought that was where I needed to be doing the quests. I was like, wait, did they need my stabilizer? Really? But no, that's not what's going on. Clock is running. Alright, so the flotilla needs water and components. You might be able to get them. She will take you what you can get. So all they need is scrap for the flotilla? I mean, I have 5. Okay, I mean, that's doable. Oh, what's this? He asks you to meet them at the cordon. You hope they have a plan to cross because this place seems imposing. Okay, so we got to wait a turn for that. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I need scrap and I still need mushroom, right? Oh, algae stacks. Okay. Algae stack is controlled by a small collective of farmers. If you want to use it, you need to persuade them. What? Excuse you, what? Reservoir. Havagen alert plus Havagen alert. Oh, okay. Or is monitored by a web of sensors. Hacking them will reduce the alert level of the system and keep you from getting locked out. Engineering +2, okay. Water for the flotilla. As she needs the tanks and tanks of water if she hopes to help the flotilla. Anything less is worthless to her. Okay, I mean, that's fine. Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess that's fine. I don't know which ones of these to prioritize, so... Yeah, I don't... Let me check and see where I am on mushrooms and stuff. Okay, this is harvest mushrooms, and that's safe. We can do that then. And this is... Okay, and this is just foraging, which we have plenty of grow mushrooms, so we can skip a couple of rotations of that. Genesis frustration, you'll have to pay or talk your way into using the algae stack to form. Okay. Okay, we'll just turn that into a 6. Cool, that's 2. Oh, and they gave us an energy. Nice, that'll save us some food. Let me go check and see if the thing is available for me to buy scrap. Where is that? Are you available for scrap purchases? Nope, I already bought all their scrap. Fudge. Trying to remember if there's any place else to go buy scrap. Your home for now. Actually, I have multiple homes. I don't think there is any place else for me to get scrap at this point. So I think we could also get it from here for a little while, but we got locked out of that, so... Oh yeah, does Caster want anything else now that... No? Okay. I wasn't sure if there was something else to do there. Having a room to make money. Oh, I wonder if What's-His-Face has access to scrap. I'll put some of the work to you. No, he doesn't. Space for sleeping berths. I'm not really worried about that. Yeah, we don't have a reliable way other than that ship to get more scrap. I mean, I think I have certain actions that give me scrap. Yeah, from engineering actions. So I guess if we can do more engineering, that's better. Okay, +2. So we can potentially get it from this. Let me, let's see. Still technically need to get this done too. So we gotta keep making our medicine. Okay, that's one. I think we need 2 of those to get that to work. Alright. Alright. I'll take a pill tonight then. What does this place look like? What do we got? Self-repair. Which I guess technically I could throw all that, but we want to say, oh, I actually got one, I think. We're up to 6 now. I think we were only at 5 before. Okay, I'm gonna use this. So we have all of our dice for tomorrow, because we're gonna need as many as possible. Okay. And the cycle. So we gotta get on this quick. Okay. 3, a 5, a 6, a 4, and a 1. Wow, that's a good spread. Okay. Alright, I want to finish getting the mushrooms. Because that's on me. I think I'll save the 1 for later. Let's see. So we're getting a +2 on this. And this is technically engineering, so... Find an outlet valve behind a web of sensors. Delicately, you begin filling a tank. As it gives you a thumbs up, this is working. I guess, technically, yeah? I guess so? This doesn't feel like the best way to go about this, but okay. Let's see, what's the algae tanks? Oh, technically, oh, this is an engage. I think can give me energy if I succeed at this. But I've only got a +1 at it. Let's do this. Okay. Yeah, we'll just be done with this and get the food, and then we'll worry about getting the water done. Okay, we got an energy off of that too, which is good. So that's done. Okay, so what is this? Algae stack grows at a regular rate, but with some careful feed adjustments and water cycling, you can improve your yield per cycle. The algae takes time to grow, and each cycle can be harvested from the stack. Patience is required. The villa needs a lot of food to last out the quarantine, and SG will be settled for nothing less than a full hold's worth. Oh, okay. There's no more algae in the stack for this cycle. You'll have to wait for more to grow. Oh, this accelerates the growth. Oh, okay. Dang, I'm happy I got this done quick, because now I know I need to also get food for this. This is actually a lot of work. Oh my god. Alright. Oh, no, we nailed it. 2 6s. A 3 and a 1 turned into 2 6s. Oh my god. Alright. Huh. Okay, I'm trying to understand this. Minus energy, algae growth. Okay, so this happens every 3 turns. Unless we grow it faster. Oh, okay, so once this gets ready, then we can harvest it at a +2. 1, 2, 3. We had to do that 4 times. Okay, I'm gonna let that go on its own, and we'll do water for now, because I also need the engineering to get the scrap components. And that engineering thing is very rare, actually. It does not happen often, as much as it says it should, for sure. And I can't buy it, which really sucks. I can sell it, but I can't buy it. Because... okay, that's those mushrooms. Oh, this might not even be the right kind of mushroom, actually. So that's a ship mine core, and then we can sell ship mines. which I do have 2 of, but I want to hang on to those because we're probably going to need them for this. This is, yeah, that's just food and money. And this is, I think you can, yeah, you can sell components, but I can't buy them. Alright, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we can sleep over there. I mean, we're spending all of our time in the Greenway right now anyway. I gotta keep the mushrooms and stuff going, though, too. I can't afford to completely stop that. I can't afford to get that behind on our meds. Despite the module treating the meds as not important on all of the endings, it actually is technically super important. We got a 1, a 2, a 5, a 6, and a 5. Interesting. As you leave, you find a note pinned on the outside of the door. It reads, Sleeper, there's something you need to see. Meet me at the cordon as soon as you can. Just keep heading around the ring until you hit the flotilla. I'll be waiting. Peek. You pocket the note and glance around the corridor. Looks like you are doing this. Time to make a plan. Okay. Well, let's go talk to them and see what we got. Sleeper, Peek catches your attention from the shadowy corner they were leaning against. Any trouble getting here? This place is huge. Certainly is. Haven't you have been busy? Come, take a look at this. They beckon you over to a nearby window, which looks across the ruined ring to the blinking red lights at the Havigen Cordon. The cordon's temporary structure, a net of metal struts, meant to detect and dissuade any ships from entering or leaving the flotilla, jut out into the black. And all around the tugs flit, securing them in place and tending to the red blinking drones that demark the quarantine. It's an impressive and worrying sight. What do you think? Peek interrupts your thoughts. How would you get through? Use one of the tugs, create a distraction. Probably use one of the tugs. As an escort, you mean? I doubt we could fit all the supplies on one of those tugs, but if it seemed like the buyer was being officially escorted through the cordon, Peek squints at the red lights, but then we'd be stuck inside. Turns away from the window and rubs their forehead. Eschi has really wrapped us up in something here, hasn't she? The question is spoken under their breath, and they don't seem to expect an answer. The silence grows. Are there other options? If you got them, I'm happy to hear them, Peek smiles. The way I see it, there are 3 parts to making it through the cordon. They gesture out the window at the strange structure. Deception, distraction, and speed. We'll need all of them for a clean passage through. Deception means tricking the cordon security into thinking that we are meant to be there. Maybe a tug escort would work. Anything that makes the Briar look official. Distraction, meanwhile, will be all about diverting attention so that no one looks too hard at what the Briar is doing. If we can create a gap in the cordon scanning and deterrent systems, that could keep them busy. Finally, speed will mean making sure the Briar is ready to roll. Perhaps we can do a little work on the ship to get her ready? As she surely wouldn't mind. I lean back from the window. How does that sound? Risky, good, excellent. It sounds good enough. Good to hear, Peek grins. Peek looks down at their slate. 10 cycles left. They glance out at the window at the cordon nervously. 10 cycles to gather supplies and to prep this plan. It's very tight. It's tight. Very tight. Looks at you. If this goes wrong, Peek sighs, it's just get out, okay? They squeeze your shoulder. I'll follow Essie anywhere, but you don't need to get dragged down with us. It won't come to that. He brightens up a little. Of course, but just keep it in mind. Let's get to it, Peek stretches. I'll tell Essie about the improvement to the Briar, and the rest, let's explore the cordon as best we can and look for openings. I have no idea what guardian angel sent you to us, Sleeper. Peek smiles, but I'm very glad they did. Well, I'm friends with the AI that runs two different AIs that run parts of the ship, so... Brake will need you to scope out and execute a safe path through the cordon for Essie. Flotilla aid. Gather food, scrap, and water. Okay, you're going to need to prioritize a little bit better for this. Where am I doing this? Okay, is this just it here? Okay, here we go, yeah. The cordon buzzes with radios, transmissions, and data packets. Intercepting them will give you a sense of how things run here. Okay. So that's what we're doing. Blend with a crew. One thing about being a sleeper is people always assume you are working, so blending in with the tug crews shouldn't be too tough. You and Peek need to get a sense of how the Havigen operation works before you can prepare your plan to slip through. This is actually a boatload of stuff we need to get done on top of each other. They were not joking. This is very hard stuff to pull off. Okay, I think I'm going to throw the one at getting the mushrooms we need. Yeah, I'm gonna do the mushrooms thing. That's fine. 2 random mushrooms. Okay, so now we need to plant these, and then that's going to be on a couple of cycles of growing. Before I'll have to go and try to harvest more of these. So that'll buy me some time to just let this simmer while I go and do, like, literally everything else right now. Okay, so we do that. Let's see, where are we on this? Okay, this is still growing. So this is doing its own thing, technically. Where are we at on this? We're going to have to drop 2, 3, 4 more on this. We can probably get this done today for the rest of the water. I'm gonna have to go buy food, though. I really need this engineer to pay off. Like, drastically need that to pay off, please. Oh, come on. Tank, okay. Huh, the 2 to a 2. Oh my god, alright. Well, here's hoping it doesn't go badly. I don't really have much condition either. Come on. Neutral outcome. We got a havogen alert, but we finished the water, so that's fine. That's actually fine. Okay, water's done. Turn in the service quarter deep below the reservoir. Essie is double-checking the seals in the water tanks. Load onto the motorized trolley. Though you're far enough away from any thoroughfares not to worry about being overheard, you both still speak in hushed tones. All good? She nods silently and hits the ignition on the trolley to start it moving. You take the other side of the trolley and walk it up the wide service corridor with its flickering lights and solium detritus. You doubt it gets used by Havogen, at least that's the hope. You glance across at Essie, her face a mask of determination as she guides the trolley along. Maybe some conversation will make this journey a little easier. How'd you meet Peak? As he pauses, a little surprised by your question, she glances back down the tunnel, but in this deserted passage she can hardly keep up the presence of silence. We grew up together. She answers quickly and turns back to the trolley, but she can tell you are expecting her to add more. She seems to gather herself for an answer, not wanting to ignore you, but trying instead to get her answer straight in her head. Our outpost, Hawthorne, is not an easy place to grow up. The administrators kept a tight hold on everything. A tight hold of everything. She rolls her eyes, even though they all trapped in the same decaying insulation as everyone else. Peak, she pauses. Peak found it harder than most. She pauses again, judging her words. I stepped in to help them out. Silence descends again, but you can feel the wheels turning in Essie's mind as the creaking wheels of the trolley take you along the corridor. Peak isn't the most practical of people. They used to be, well, they needed someone to teach them to look after themselves. Stand up for themselves. That was me, she smiles. After that, I couldn't get rid of them. I do like they're using the neutral pronouns. That's nice. Essie stops talking, but you can see her eyes have lit up. You imagine she is recalling some moment or other from her and Peak's past. You both reach a wide bulkhead doorway and have to stop to shimmy the trolley over the edge. When you are done, Essie turns to you. I'm good from here. Head back. And with that, she is gone, moving off into the dark tunnels ahead. You watch her go and then turn around and walk the distance back to the staircase you entered from, the tunnel humming around you as you do. As you walk up to try to piece together Essie's past, all you have are glimpses of a person she once was. She seems to prefer it that way. Okay, cool. Alright, water's done, then we can focus on the algae, and I still got to do the research on the other thing, so... But I need food, and there's no better place to go get food than with our friend where I can get free food by cooking for her. We haven't cooked mastered the art of cooking mushrooms, but a couple of handfuls of running will always beat expired rations. Please apply. Thank you. God, I hope I don't need more of these. That would be fantastic. Starting the action. +3 energy. Perfect. Can't beat free food. Alright, so... head over to the Greenway, where I gotta do all of my work right now. So, how many times am I gonna have to do this? +2. 1, 2, 2, 4. Okay, we're gonna need to do this 3 times then. As long as we can get a 6 or a positive outcome. Okay, so we can maybe knock that all out next turn, and then hopefully it just comes down to the algae thing. See, we need these other kinds of mushrooms to make my stabilizer. We're not getting lucky with that, unfortunately. We can stay here. Yeah, we're good. And I need more scrap. We still got to turn in the 8 scrap. Unfortunately, this rotation of ship, the delivery ships, is already bought out. Oh my god, we just totally nailed it. 6, 5, 6, 6, and a 1. Oh my god. Okay, well, we're gonna completely finish this up then. Jeez. Wow, okay. Let's throw one of these 5s at it instead. Save one of these 6s. Okay. Dang. Alright. Okay, Cordon intel gathered. Oh, alright, we got a new restaurant. Tug escort. Oh, okay. And then Havogen problems is a different thing. Okay. Then we've got sabotage sensors, which is an interface thing. Plus, wow, we gotta do that 6 times then? Oh my god. Alright. Then we got the Briar upgrades, which is also 6. That is insanity. Wow. Okay. Well, let's see if we can't finish the algae thing. How safe is algae thing? It is dangerous. Okay. Wow, 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 wow. I do not care for any of this nonsense. Crew canteen. Okay. I mean, at least it's all +2 stuff for us. +2. And +2. Yeah, it's all +2 stuff. And this is engineering. We're going to start with this then. To hopefully get the rest of this so we can go turn it in. Nothing. Fudge. And another 6. Love it. Absolutely love it. Cannot believe I have to do this 6 times. And we didn't get any scrap from it. Oh, that's frustrating. Okay. I want to go check this other ship. When does this thing come back? Oh, are you back now? No. Okay, we already bought the scrap allowance. When do you leave? Because this thing, I think, only sells ship mines. So... okay, this is their last cycle, then they're going to leave, and then I think it's 3 more before they come back? Ooh, that's going to be close. I mean, we'll be able to buy the 3 we need. Also, something's loading in the background. Why are you doing this? But yeah, we'll be able to buy at least the other 2 we need, which is good. So I think we'll be okay there. We'll have the 8 we're going to need. Which is just dumb luck more than it is strategy. I just happen to have a bunch of extra scrap I was keeping around. Oofa. Alright, so... I do technically need food. We're gonna lose a dice, which is not great, but I can't afford to keep it at 6 indefinitely. Hi, friend. How's it going? I'm gonna be cooking us food. Let's cook some of this and see what happens, shall we? Ooh, okay, that was also worth 3. Good to know. Alright, so that's 2 days worth of food, so we don't need to worry about eating for the next 2 days. We have that. I get another point per chance? Because if we're going to do this endure thing... Because we're going to need the +1 on endure to go into that last little area. And maybe it's nothing, maybe it's something. I don't know, but... yeah, I'm going to buy this. We'll need 1 point on that, too. I don't know what the sunbathe action is, though. Is there anything? Nah, it's just food for food. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, here's this. Your frame's photosynthetic skin allows you to gather energy through sunlight. The longer you stay, the better. Ah, okay. So, yeah, we can just turn a dice into free food, which... Technically, I can do that a lot of places, so I'm not really worried about that right now. I'm more worried about the repairs, but we'll have to see what happens next turn. And I don't think we have anything else pressing right now. We'll have to take probably 1 turn to harvest the mushrooms and hope. Got a 4, a 5, a 1, and a 5. Okay. I wouldn't call that great, but it's not terrible. Okay, algae's ready. So, how do I... Okay, harvest algae for algae put +2. Okay. That's an endure. That's a flat. Okay, I'm happy we have points in that, I guess, now. So, yeah, we're probably going to throw a 5 at this. We're most hopeful. Oh, okay, we can do this up to 3 times on 1 algae growth. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, that's fine. That's a neutral, so we got a positive, okay. Okay. I'm gonna leave that for the moment. Okay. And I don't think... Let me see something. I think that other ship is gone for, I think, only 3 turns? Oh, 4. It's 4 turns, it looks like. Yeah, 4 turns before they come back and I can buy more salvage. And that's if all of them turn out to be salvage and not one of them turns out to be a ship mined piece. Because if that's the case, then we're in a really bad spot. As long as it's only 1, though, we should still be okay. What am I looking for here? That is not a lot of time. Oh, that's brutal. Is this the one we were working on? No. Oh, no, no, it was this one. It was this one because the engineering. Still a +6. Or a 6 dice. Nothing. Alright, reroll. 2 to a 4. Ooh, what do I do with that? I guess we can stick with this. I mean, the 2 to a 4... Still have chance for positive, but it also have the Havoc suspicion. But we can get up to 4 of those, so we should be okay. Hopefully. Even if it's just a neutral. Darn it. We lost condition there, and we alerted them. Well, that sucks. Nothing I can do about it, but that sucks. Alright. End cycle. Yeah, we'll end the cycle. We got 2 more turns before we have to take our meds. I don't like that there's something loading in the background of this PC. There shouldn't be. Okay, so we got a 2, a 5, a 3, and a 6. Okay. That's fine. How do I want to do this? I think... Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, we got both, though. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's what happens if you get a neutral. You get both. Oof. Ow! There is no way. That's so bad. Okay. Was the algae tanks is the other one? That's yeah, that's a neutral endure. What do I do here then? Guess we get this food done. Or attempt to get this food done. Okay, perfect, perfect. Let's re-roll this. Okay, a 4. Okay, that's actually not terrible. We can throw that 4 then at this up here. Turn it into a 6 and guarantee a success with no negatives. Okay, we got one more of those for this. Slice thrusters. Managed to hit the hangar during a shift change. Whole place is empty. You come with away with a thruster set with little effort. Nice. Okay, we need food, which we can go get for free. Well, not for free, but we have the resources to get food. I am very happy we started this late module when we had so much ahead. And we get to hang out with our chef friend and make food for both of us. The closest thing do we have like a reliable friend that we can see all the time. I really wish we could call in some favors. Some people owe us some favors, so... Alright, we need one more rotation on this, which we can do tomorrow, and then we'll be done with that, and then the rest of it goes all into this. It's going to be super tight if we can pull this off. I don't honestly know if it's going to happen. I hope something breaks in our favor. I hope. Okay, we had a 6, a 5, a 5, and a 1. Okay. That's not terrible. Okay, so, how do I want to do this? So, yeah, we throw this at this. Come on, give me one scrap out of all of this. Okay, the Briar's upgraded. He grins as you pile the ion thruster sets onto the motorized trolley in a derelict loading bay. I borrowed this from Essie. I barely know how it works. They seem giddy at the idea of stealing the ship parts from Havagen. Isn't it just a trolley? I thought you worked for XPR. I did, but not as a repair tech. They help you heave the thruster into position. My specialty was computer systems. I mostly worked on keeping the protocols that ran the refueling platforms from totally decaying due to lack of use. There's a load of platforms in orbit of the moon Hawthorne is on and Cinder itself. Essie and I ended up having to head out to them regularly to work on them. Sounds technical. Big smiles. That was the best job at Hawthorne. You get assigned a ship, you get to leave the colony for a bit, so much better than outpost maintenance or canteen work. The only reason we got assigned it was that Essie's mother is the administrator of Hawthorne, and Essie managed to get my name on the list too. Pete looks for the trolley's ignition. Essie is always saving me. They find the switch and hit it, and the trolley starts whining. He looks at the thrusters. Essie will install these. The Briar is her baby, really. He looks towards the bay exit. Truth be told, I was surprised she could bring herself to take it from her mother. Losing a ship, that has to have hurt the colony. What is her mother like? Tough. You'd have to be to keep control of service outposts with no services to provide. Pete looks away. It's a tough place overall. Hawthorne and Essie's mom, she likes it that way. Peak shuffles the trolley out of the bay into the corridor. They'll manage without the Briar. No choice. Peak smiles. And I have to admit, I'd love to have seen her face when she saw we had gone. Peak pauses. Don't tell Essie that. They walk out quietly, lost in their memories of Hawthorne. Okay, I think I can manage the rest. Peak brushes their hair out of their face. You've done more than enough this cycle. He looks over the thrusters. Once these are fitted, the Briar will handle better than ever. You might even get a thank you from Essie. Peak laughs. They head off into the corridor, the trolley whirring in high-pitched whine. See you soon! Okay, so what is there to do here now? Oh, okay, it's just done. Okay, there's nothing else to worry about there then. Okay, I think I have to harvest mushrooms too? Yeah. I get a +2 to that though. We're okay right now. We're still ahead on meds, so... Oh, the algae thing, yeah. Let's do the algae thing and get this finished. I'll just throw the 5 at it. Actually, you know what? We'll wait and re-roll and try it with one of the others. Well, no, because I can't risk it being too low. We'll just do this at it, and this should get us at least 1. Even if I take damage or whatever. Okay, +2. Food is gotten. Leaning against the metal crates you've just loaded up with algae, packed and dried into bright green pucks, as she hops onto one beside you, flexing her aching back. Is this enough? I hope the refugees like algae. As she squints at you as if you just interrupted her train of thought. It's a look you have become familiar with. Doesn't matter either way, this is what we've got, she sighs, rubbing the back of her neck. In these past cycles, working the algae stack with Essie, you've had little insight into her mind. She really seems happy to start a conversation, but is always eager to end one. Despite this, you feel like something has grown between you, something that, like silent trust. The kind that tends to seed itself in the fertile soil of hard but necessary work. But I did notice something else, that when we were talking to Essie about where they came from, she mentioned that the people who were in charge like to keep a tight rein on things. But she didn't mention what Peak mentioned, which is that her mom was one of the people in charge of the station. So she was talking about that her mom is actually an extremely, like, controlling, I don't know, executive of the station or whatever they call that. I think that was a very funny thing. Like, she avoided saying that her mom was part of the problem of why things are run so harshly. There's something I've been meaning to ask. As he raises her head cautiously, go on. Why escape XPR? As she pauses, her protective instinct fighting with the trust you've built. You can see her begin to shrug the question off, then she stops, rethinks, sighs. What you need to understand, Sleeper, is that Erlin's Eye wasn't the only place where the Solian collapse happened. Sure, Hawthorne, where we grew up, was an XPR installation, but that didn't screen it from Solheim going under. Actually, Solheim was the only reason XPR were ever here. She pauses, hesitant to get into the whole story, but wanting to offer something. She flinches, correcting herself. They are a service corp, you understand. They set up outposts and surrogate systems like this to offer refueling, logistics, and maintenance services to bigger companies with extraction contracts. She gestures to the eye around her, like Solheim. When Solheim went bust, XPR lost their client, and Hawthorne, well, we lost everything. We became an outpost tasked with just holding on. Keep the refueling platforms running, they said. Keep the outpost stable. Hold on to our claim. She rubs at her head as if recalling all this was somehow physically painful. You know what it's like to spend your entire life in a place with no future? A place that exists only to hold a legal claim to a piece of territory? To shore up a branch of contract negotiations between two corporations? It's like living in a... She scratches for the word. She searches for the word, her eyes jumping back and forth. In a grave. She clenches her hands. So you're looking for the answer to why questions. That's your answer. We, Peak and I, know what it's like to be forgotten, to be locked out. She stares hard at the side of the stack. The algae whirling against the glass in beautiful patterns, and she doesn't look away. The silence extends, and you realize the conversation is over, as he seems angry, not at you, but with herself, for even voicing such ideas. After a while, you stand and start to load the crates onto the powered cargo trolley that Essie will run back to the Briar. As you do, you try to catch her eye, but she avoids it, soothing herself instead with the comforting simplicity of physical work. Alright. Alright, so that happened. Okay. So, yeah, the station basically only existed to keep claim on that area, which is not the best reason to be doing anything, really, but... Oh, this stays up if we... Oh, it transfers over. Okay, that's good to know. Alright, so we do this. Get 100% on this. Dang, that is a lot. Oh, we got a 6. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. What is this one? Okay, it's still a +2 and it sabotaged the sensors. Okay, create a blind spot in the cordon's perimeter will give the Briar a better chance of evading detection. Trying to make sure this is all I need to do. Okay, target escort. We gotta go get some food. Where are we on this? Okay, we still gotta harvest mushrooms, but we have time to wait on that for now. We have enough pills to hopefully get us by. The other thing I'm worried about... Okay, they'll be back in 2 cycles. That should be fine, so we'll be able to get the rest of the scrap we need. Luckily, I still have mushrooms for cooking purposes to get free food. Not that I need to worry about money, but... You know. I have resources that I don't think we need right now. Alright, so that takes care of that. We can just sleep here in the Hyperdorm. I have to use my meds. Start the action. Okay. This is going to be risky. It's going to be really close. It's going to be really close. And we haven't been feeding the cat for a little while, but other priorities. Oh, brutal. Okay, a 3, a 4, a 3, a 1, and a 5. Okay. It's not terrible, but it's not good. Okay, so we got a +2. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this on here to get this down. Let me double check, because there was... Okay, I can't do that again. Okay, so that's the only one where I can reduce the suspicion. I'm gonna do this. Hardline attitudes loudly arguing in favor of the quarantine, making friends with security. Those are the ways to deflect suspicion. Okay. We're gonna deflect this. Oh, that takes care of all of it. Oh, I didn't realize that. Fudge. If I would have known that, I would have waited until we got to 3. Oh, no. Okay, well. Okay, positive outcome. Positive outcome. I thought it was only going to get rid of 1. Wow, another positive outcome. We've gotten very lucky. Come on, give me a 6. Give me a 4 or better. And a 6. All right, nice. All right. All right, all right, all right. So we do that. Now we're done with the tug escort. Perfect. Bam. You meet Peaky leaking Peaky. Well, Peak. Leaning in a corner of the canteen in their typically unassuming way. It occurs to you as you approach that Peak must have had some practice at staying invisible. All good? They look up from their slate. Through that crew you were talking to, they nod with the group leaving the canteen. Will they join us? It's what they say. You aren't sure? Peak looks back at them as they disappear into the corridor of the installation. Looks like we'll have to take them at their word either way. Peak beckons for you to follow as they peel off the wall and head out into the walkway overlooking the cordon. Glad you were here to talk them into it. I never had much of a way with people. Peak smiles and looks away quickly as you walk. You and Essie seem to do okay. Peak laughs their light and easy laugh. Essie's not really like other people, which you've probably noticed. If only everyone was like Essie, they fade off. Something drawing their attention. What I mean is, people have caused me a lot of trouble. I've had people hate me without knowing a thing about me, tuck their hair behind an ear. I'm sure you know the feeling. I mean, they tend to ignore me. That sounds nice. Peak laughs a little. Peak leads you around a corner, heading back to the main cordon accessway. I appreciate you coming in and helping us out on this, Sleeper. Talking to the crew and, well, you know. Maybe after this insane plan is done, we can talk properly. They keep looking ahead and you realize they're nervous. I'd like that. Peak smiles, looking down at their feet. That's subtle then, they say to the floor. I better report the news to Essie. We have ourselves a tug escort. Peak stops at an intersection. See you soon, Sleeper, and please take care. With that, they drift away. Their head down, their gait changing as they do. Their practical invisibility shrouding them like a cape. Okay, that's 2. We have the food. We just need to sleep now. Oh, wait. I gotta go check to see. I think it's 1 more rotation before the other stuff shows up. This is gonna be unbelievably close. Okay, 1 more turn till they show up. Okay. And then we have to hope that we can get at least 2 scraps out of them. It's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we can't wait another rotation, and I have no other good way of getting scrap. Alright, Alright. Sleep. Okay, we got a 4, a 2, a 2, a 4, and a 3. It's not great, but it's salvageable. With the +2s we've got, we'll be able to probably pull this off. Man, I feel bad if you didn't go into the some of this technical stuff that we have +2s in. Jeez. Okay. So, start buying stuff. Come on. I got a ship mind. Fudge. Oh, that's not great. Come on. I got another ship mind. Are you kidding me? Oh, no. I need scrap. Okay, we got scrap on this one. Oh, no. Oh, no. I can't wait 7 cycles. We got to figure out another way to get... We need one more scrap. We need one more scrap. This is really, really, really bad. Oh, I didn't need 2 ship mines. Oh, no. Does someone sell random things? I don't need to steal the harvest. Farming Collective who control the stacks don't like to sell their food piecemeal, but for the right price, they'll let it go. I don't need food like that. Oh, that's really bad. There's no way for me just to buy random scrap. Oh, this one to get me scrap components, but I don't have... I need 1 more point to even try that. Oh, no. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Okay. Okay, we gotta get work in on this today. Okay, was it neutral? We got 5 cryo, we got $5. Okay, I'm gonna reroll these 2s. Okay, that's not bad. A 4 and a 1 is actually great, because then we can turn that into a 6. Okay, great. So next turn we should be able to finish that up. So then what I need to do is I can probably harvest like mushrooms or something. Oh, I can't really afford to do that though. Well, 50, well, better than 50. Let's see what we get. Okay, 2 random mushrooms. Ah, that's not what I need. I don't need that. Oh, that hurts. That hurts, team. How is there no way for me to get random scrap? That's so brutal. You should just be able to go buy it. This is just feed the cat, right? No, just feed the cat. Just feed the cat. Odd to me that a cat, by the way, is eating, like... is eating crackers? What? Why would a... I don't understand. Some attack is burning, so the shipyard is happy to pay for ship mine fragments they can dismantle and reuse. Oh, that hurts, team. Why? I don't understand why there's not one place. Fabricate a ship mine. You can't just buy scrap. There's no reason for it. You should 100% be able to just buy scrap. It's kind of the point. You know? Sell a ship mine, and sell the mushrooms. Buy a ship mine core. Doesn't do me any good. What is this guy's thing up here? Wait, Gal Lounge, Spacer Meal, the Bliss Bay. Okay, this is engineering. And engineering's the one that can get me a rare part, or a random part, right? Yeah, random scrap. So that's there. I guess technically we could go do that for a cycle if we can't find one. I'm hoping I get 1 upgrade point from finishing one of these other things. Oh, I still need to go get food. So that way I can, what was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, I can get 1 upgrade point so I can go do the scrap collection thing. That's what I was saying. Okay, this. Start the action. Because we don't need money. We just need 1 more scrap. Bam. Perfect. And we get to hang out with our friend. It's odd how few people we get to continue interacting with, but we can sleep here. Okay. So got 2 more turns of all 6 dice. Okay, we got a 5, a 6, a 1, a 3, and a 1. Uh-oh, what's happening? A rapid burst of movement catches your attention. A drone. Its fins adjusting as it hovers in space. Bloats in the corridor. Hello? The drone shifts a little but does not respond. The drone buzzes closer and a voice gurgles out of the speaker, distorted and strange. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Why? The drone clicks and whirs and the recording stops playing again. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Inspect the drone. You move closer and the drone bobs away to save distance, but as it does, you see the HA of Havogen and Basil on the side. Could this be Fang's drone? Satisfied as it's delivered its message, and the drone rotates and accelerates away as rapidly as it arrived. You stare at it and as it disappears from sight, hoping for some insight that escapes you. To the cordon, then. I mean, yeah, I need to go over there, so... Okay... As you're in the passage that leads to the cordon, a flash of movement catches your eye, the drone. It stops to make sure you've seen it, and then flits into a side passage, leading to the set of narrow stairs. You climb up through a dark shaft, the drone stopping at each landing to check you are following. Despite its lack of expression, there's something overbearing about the way the drone waits, impatiently realigning its fins in sequence. For a long climb, you come out onto an observation platform. The cordon, the vast, ramshackle refuge ships beyond fill your vision. The scale seems impossible, and immediately you feel small and naive for even thinking you could affect this situation. Something shifts nearby. The drone again? A woman is standing at the window, at the edge of your vision. You aren't surprised you didn't notice her. She too seems impossibly small in the shadow of the flotilla. The drone buzzes by her shoulder and she turns. Sleeper, sorry for all the cloak and dagger nonsense. She nods at the drone, but I have never regretted being cautious. She smiles at a tight smile and holds out a hand. I'm Helena. Shake her hand? The tight smile holds, but the drone keeps its single eye fixed on you. The effect is a little unnerving. Look. She glances around the empty observation deck as if checking for potential eavesdroppers. Let's be straight with each other. I know about your plans, and she cuts in before you can respond. I understand your motives. You look at her in her overalls, the yellow markers, the HI signal. You've been on the eye long enough to recognize a Havogen member when you see them. You're Havogen. Yes, I mean, I expect that is obvious. The tight smile again. I hope you won't hold that against me. She glances around nervously again and moves a little closer. This entire situation, I'm not here to defend it. She glances back at the flotilla. No one is happy about this. Well then release the flotilla. She sighs. How do you think this works? She pauses. Sleeper, tell me something. What does Havenage mean to you? Havogen mean to you? Hardenhurst? She squints at you. That was unfortunate, but you should know it was one of our own who exposed Harden. And it hasn't been dealt with. No. Oh god, please tell me that when we continue this, there's an option for me to tell her, no, it wasn't one of your own. It was literally me. I was the one who revealed this man to the world. Literally me. Havogen is used to being criticized. In some ways, we invite it. Our members are free to bring up grievances at any meeting, to propose new structures and approaches. She shifts her weight impatiently. As a counselor, it is my duty to listen to them. That is why I was elected by the members. We are an imperfect system, yes, and each counselor, each member, each representative can be flawed and worse. She looks down. But we keep this place running. That is what we do. And the non-members? They're past the membership, and we cannot force everyone on the station to join us. What do you expect? We are an association of individuals. We cannot always account for the needs of those outside that structure. She turns and looks out at the flotilla, no matter how much we wish to. Can the eye take in thousands of refugees safely? I don't know. This place is a ruin, Sleeper. What do you think the council discusses? The price of Girolai? We make plans to keep this place spinning, to keep life support working, to ensure... Helene Slate chirps, and a grim look passes across her face as she sees the notification. She looks tired, the screen light casting her rigid expression in a pale glow. Sleeper, I didn't bring you here to explain how Havogen works. I came to talk about your plan to cross the cordon, breach the quarantine, and supply the flotilla. She looks directly at you. How do you know? She glances at the drone. I make it my job to know what happens here. You know, you mean just magic. It's just writer's convenience. I know you think you're helping the flotilla, but you cannot do this, right? Right now, halfway along the ring, one of the countless series of debates are being held. These debates are to evaluate the potential harm that could be caused if the refugees on the flotilla are left to enter the station. These debates are at a standstill. Lena walks to the window. Too many in the Havogen Council think of the flotilla as a threat. After recent events, a hardline group has emerged. Protective, selfish. They seek only to benefit the members. In their mind, the flotilla is a danger to life on the Eye. What? If you're caught crossing the cordon and breaching the quarantine, it will only strengthen the hardline counselor's case. Criminals who stole a ship from XPR undermining the security of the station? Shakes her head. It's exactly what they want. Well, the refugees need supplies. They do, and that's exactly what I want to give them. But unless the quarantine is lifted through a fair process, they will never get them. She sighs deeply. And those XCPR spacers you're running with, Sleeper, do you know anything about them? More than I know about you. Looks at you pleadingly. Let's change that, Sleeper. What do you think the refugee flotilla came here now? Something is happening in the system. Something is pushing people out of colonies and outposts that have survived since Solheim's collapse. We need to be ready for whatever is coming. Ready to protect the Eye. I know the Eye means something to you. I know there's a reason you're still here. Help me protect it. Helene fixes you with a strange look. Persuade those spacers that this is the wrong move. They will get caught and the flotilla will be locked down. Then Havogen will be delivered into those with the worst instincts. Forget this suicidal supply run with people you barely know. Help me fight for the Eye. Why don't you stop them? If I expose the plan, it's the same as if it goes ahead and they are caught. Every way I look at it, the Eye looks compromised and the quarantine justified. The Hardliners get their scapegoat. Don't offer up the excuse the Hardliners need to lock the flotilla out altogether. Just persuade the members that they are safest pair of hands. She looks at him imploringly. Please. You look back at her and the flotilla behind and sense a desperation in her plea. A notification breaks the silence. She replies, scrolls through pages of data. Sleeper, I need to go. She looks torn. Think about this, please. Talk to the spacers, help them see reason, and she quickly leaves the observation deck before you have the time to respond. You stay for a moment, watching the lights of the tugs and the flotilla, and wonder what it feels like to be on one of those ships, so close to your destination and yet so far from it. And you think of the Havogen Council chamber, across the Eye, where the right of these people to find safety is being debated. You shiver, and then you too are gone, back in the stairwell in the cold dark below. Okay. Well, can I talk to them or what? Peak's plan, Prior's hold. The flotilla needs food, water, okay. Lies in the world are nothing without a plan to get them in the flotilla. 12 cycles. I can't talk to them, which is kind of a problem. Kind of its own problem. Okay. Well, we can risk this one, I think. Okay, blind spot. Throw this. Okay, blind spot. So that's done. He's waiting for you when you slip out of the operations center, nervously poking at their small slate. Sleeper, they hiss. I followed what you were doing on the network. Incredible work. How do you do that? It comes naturally. He smiles. I can't tell if that's modesty or just the truth. Interfacing skills like that, it's almost worth being. I saw them. Sorry, I didn't mean. Don't worry about it. Sorry. You and Pete quickly slip into the main walkway and work your way back to the public areas of the cordon. Havogen has had to quickly respond to the flotilla's arrival. It means a lot of contractors and spacers walking through these corridors. You blend in easily enough. I haven't really met a sleeper before, Pete begins. As you might have guessed, they smile nervously. Hawthorne is an XPR service outpost, and since the collapse, no one came for refueling or repairs anymore, so my generation has never met anyone outside the colony. We heard about sleepers, they nod in your direction, from the data packets that come through from XPR every once in a while. They usually contain news along with the corporate propaganda, but the reports were light on the details. Ebs and ARP have kept the sleeper program pretty quiet anyway, and I think XPR are only interested in telling their employees about it because it made living in our company town look like a good life. You can consider it to be a piece of corporate property. They freeze. Sorry, again, I don't mean they look down. I'm just not sure how to talk about this stuff. It's okay, don't worry about it. I'll shut up about it now. You walk on a little further, the walkway becoming busier. You both relax a little more and go with the flow of people. They just want to say, I think I understand. They begin again. Clearly this has been on their mind. I understand they need to escape to get free of it all. They laugh at themselves. The structure, the systems, the company horizons, and a company town, they stare ahead. The small places, small corridors, small people, they look away. The slow death it brings. That's it, they turn to you. I get why you signed up to be a sleeper, and why you escaped from that too. It's not as simple as that. It looks a little crestfallen. I know, I'm just saying they falter and give up. You walk in silence again, each of you in their own thoughts, but moving together through space nonetheless. After all, you come to the entrance of the cordon where handfuls of workers and crews filter in and out through two huge loading bay doors. Peak stops. Okay, they pause. I'm heading back to the Briar. Once again, incredible work on the sensors. That blind spot you created, that should give us a real advantage. See you soon. They head off, disappearing into the crowd almost immediately, outrunning their own nervousness. Okay, so that's now done. So, did I get a point? I don't have a point. Breaking quarantine. Prepare for the run. Okay. Well, that sucks. How do I talk to these people? I don't know. I guess I need to do engineering tasks right now. That's an intuition thing. Those are intuition things. Enter, engage. I don't know how else to go about getting the scrap. We've been incredibly unlucky that we haven't gotten a single one yet, which is sort of insane. Engage. Interface. Okay, so... Okay, so that's done. I don't have... I really need to do this, and there's no way for me to get another upgrade point. That is incredibly frustrating. Okay, I think I can go and talk to... Bliss? I can go talk to Mortz, or whatever his name is. Yeah, this is engineering, and it's a +2. It's risky, so I could take damage. Do I need this 6 for something specific? I guess I can throw the 6 at harvesting mushrooms. And then re-roll those. Yeah, we'll just do that, I guess. Oh, we got one. We got one. Nice. Okay, that's really good. Reroll. 2 6s. That's frustrating. All right. We'll just throw those. We'll throw this at this to try to get... We only need one more of these. I'm assuming the mission's going to get canceled, but I don't want to risk that, you know, its own problem, right? Come on. Yes! I was due! Awesome. It actually worked out. Okay, then we can turn in these, and we're good. We managed to pull this all off. We managed to pull this all off. I was due. Okay. Alright. It's ready. There we go. Okay. There we go. Look over the pile of scrap and components lying in the Briar. You look around, the bay is empty. Eshi and Peak either elsewhere on the station or on the bridge a couple of levels up. You begin sorting through the pile, separating out useful components and boxing them by use. You don't recognize everything you find. Before long, you get into the rhythm of sorting. As you do, your mind starts to drift, your attention being drawn into the dark corners of the bay. The Briar is in a surprisingly good condition, considering that Hawthorne XPR must have been operating it for decades by now. The marks of care are everywhere, from the delicate patch jobs polished to meld into the original finish, or the carefully bound wiring running through custom trunking. Eshi loves this ship, that much is clear. Suddenly catches your eye in one of the dark corners, a matte black stack of crates you hadn't spotted before. They are sleek and compact, tucked away behind some kind of bigger and more worn containers. Investigate. You put the components away and go over to the sleek crates. You run your hands across their textured surface. There's little hints of what lies inside in the opaque metallic casing. Then you see it, a yellow symbol, embossed on the far side of the crate, a universal sigil used by spacers, corporations, and manufacturers alike. It's one you have seen throughout your time as a sleeper. Its meaning all too familiar. Explosive contents. You hear a hiss and Essie comes up through the bay locks. She barely registers your presence, nodding at you as she passes. Sleeper? She busies herself with a task at the back of the bay. Ask about the crates. Essie doesn't turn around from whatever she is busy with. Just more supplies, Sleeper, like everything else here. Can't think of anything else to ask, but since the atmosphere has now somehow shifted, you quickly finish up the sorting and slip out, waving goodbye to her back as you do. Ah, there's the upgrade point. A little late now, I guess. It would have been nice. It would have been nice to get the random scrap. I mean, one good thing, I guess, about it is we can now indefinitely repair ourselves, which is good. Oh, wait, did I do that? Oh, yeah. No, I did that correctly. Okay, I thought I messed up there, but no. We're all right. We're all right. All right, so, okay, this is done. That's done. This is done. We still need another mushroom, but that's okay. So now I can do this, right? Yes. Yes, I can. Oh, and the +1 still counts. It's just I need a minimum of +1. Out here on the edge of the habitable parts of the eye, everything is scrap. The trick is finding components that are still usable and staying safe. Okay, I'm gonna grab one of these. Bam, scrap component. Okay, cool. And then what we can do... So now, we kind of have an infinite loop. Because if I can use this to repair myself, then in theory, I don't have to worry so much about the injector stuff. But it means I still have to throw one dice at that every single cycle, which is kind of a waste, but... And it could go badly and I can get injured, because I only have a +1 to it, so... Oh, we still need food, though. Alright. But in theory, I now have an infinite loop and I can live forever. I can live forever, team. Oh, wait, what about this? Oh, this is still the same... What? That's still the same cycle? Really? Okay, I guess. That's not where I need to be. I need to be here. Where I can cook food for me and my friend. Bam. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so tomorrow, though, I don't have anything else I have to do this second. So, in theory, I can start, like, just going back to doing mushrooms and stuff. Which is technically what I'm doing, even in and out of context of doing mushrooms. Yeah, I guess technically. Okay, we got a 6, a 2, a 2, a 5, and a 5. Okay. Sleeper, Peak is waiting for you when you leave, but they look different. Pale, drawn out. You need to come up to the Briar now. They don't meet your eye. What happened? Not here. Peak hisses. Come to the ship. We'll be waiting. Peak walks away. Don't take long. And with that, they disappear around the corner, leaving you anxious and confused. Wait. Oh, they mean this. Okay. As you walk into the climbing Briar's cavernous bay, you now filled with crates and containers, Essie is waiting for you. front of her, sliced open with its inside scattered across the top of a heavy-duty crate, is an object you recognize. Helene's drone. You freeze. Come in, quick. Peek nudges you into the bay, looking behind you before sealing the entryway. You have to start being careful. Move closer to the container, your eyes on the drone splayed out in pieces. Some parts of it hooked up to a slate that Peek picks up and begins tapping away at as he looks up from the dissection. We caught it buzzing around nearby, heading for the ship. She leans over and taps the HI signal on one of the removed pieces of plating. It's a Havagen spy. We think we got it before it sent data back. We can't be sure. Peek looks at you nervously. Have you noticed anyone watching you? Are you any drones like this? Anyone following you up to the Briar? I've seen this drone. Frowns. Following you? I met its owner. Pauses for a while. Peek looking between the two of you. Explain, Sleeper. As she says quickly. What? No, tell them. We have to tell them. You explain that you met with Helen at the cordon, and you tell Eshy and Peek about what she told you. That the Havagen Council are debating lifting the quarantine, but they are blockaded by the hardliners. You speak faster and faster, but before you can finish, Essie walks away in anger and then comes back again, her eyes burning. What is this, Sleeper? Have you understood nothing from what you've told you? She paces in front of you. Havagen are not your friends. They are administrators, which means they are interested only in their own power, their own survival, their own causes. They divide people as easily as sorting livestock. The greater good of their work demands it. The wider project of the station, the colony, the nation. Her eyes are wide as she speaks, her anger barely contained. She didn't have a choice. He cuts in. Listen to them, please, Esty. They are with us. Peek glances between the two. What was the Sleeper supposed to do? They were ambushed by this Helena. Stay silent. I only listened. I think I only listened on this one. Let me tell you something, Sleeper. Esty says, her rage hardening into pain. When people become administrators, they give up something. Some part of being human, being an equal among others, goes away. They start talking about the greater good, the systems, the ways in which their hands are tied, or their process is compromised. My mother was the administrator of Hawthorne, and I have seen what it did to her. That noble higher calling, it is toxic. People should never have the chance to decide the fate of others, and those that do so at a cost to their humanity. Peek tries to cut in, but Essie holds up a hand. Don't start, Peek. Don't ask me to be reasonable or calm down. Thousands of people are desperate out there. Being reasonable will only prolong their suffering. Helene can help. As she turns away, I'm done with this. You're risking the entire supply run just by being here. She walks back into the bay, starts checking the straps on the crates. I go next cycle. We don't need you anymore. Get out. Sleeper, Peek turns to you. You have to understand, this is a personal for Essie. Helene warned me. Getting caught will be bad. Peek tenses. Warned you what, Sleeper? Getting caught will be bad. You don't think we know that? Peek looks tired. You glance around the bay of the Briar, the walls seeming closer to every second. The whole thing is closing in on you, and the question is, where do you want to be when it all collapses? You look at Peek. What do you think, Sleeper? Peek rubs their forehead. Should we do this thing or not? Probably not, no. He grimaces. I was worried he would say that. To be honest with you, Sleeper, I'm not sure how we got here. I mean, I know what we did, but it's like the universe shifted under us. One moment we were escaping Hawthorne, and now we were here, and I have no idea what's coming. They look at Essie, but do you see her? They look back at you. She knows how we got here. She was driving this thing forward, and they pause. She saved my life. So if your answer is no, I'm going to need you to stand back and get out of our way, because whatever she does, that's where I'll follow. Don't do this. But he smiles weakly, their eyes glistening. You can't ask me to do that, Sleeper, you can't. Alright, but I'm in if you're going to do it. Okay then. Switch your shoulder onward. This is a way to help Essie, leaving you alone to rapidly replay the conversation in your head, a certain kind of grim determination settling in the room. Last chance to prepare. Okay. Well, I mean, I tried to stop them. They don't want to listen, which I kind of figured that's how it's going to go. Hopefully we can turn things around a little bit compared to when things went bad with the mercenary lady and that other Sleeper who was like, I assume there was a way for me to interfere with that, and unfortunately I didn't. Alright, so what are we doing? We're trying to get mushrooms now, right? I think we're on the last rotation of mushrooms. Yeah. Let's do... We'll just throw one of these at it. Nice! We got the other one of these we needed. Sweet. So now I can start this. I think that takes a couple of turns. Oh no, it just happens. Okay, cool. We got another stabilizer then. I don't care if this costs me energy. Cool. This. No. Negative outcome. That's fine. Do this. Start the action. Okay, cool. Do that. So now I'm low on food, but that's fine. That. Is there... Okay, there's not even a limit on the number of times I can do this, which is even better. Alright, cool. So now we... Unless we absolutely positively have to, we can stay at 5 dice. Which is fantastic. Rim. Yeah, so we've got a loop now. Which maybe that's the ending. Maybe the loop is we just live forever. I mean, as long as we can keep getting like 5s and 6s to pay for going over there. Which could be a problem. Yeah, so there's nothing else I can do to apparently stop this. I mean, apparently I have not a single favor I can call in to help with this situation at all. I mean, we even mentioned Fang being with this company and maybe being able to step in. Is there like a hacking event? Yeah, there's not even a hacking thing I can do here. It's just nothing. There's nothing I can do here. Which kind of blows my mind, but yeah. I mean, they want to tell a specific story. I guess that's what they're going to do. Wow. Okay, we got a 4, a 3, a 6, a 6, and a 5. That is fantastic. Okay, so you gotta harvest mushrooms. I gotta harvest spores, I guess. Positive, we got 2. Nice. So now we can grow this. We'll get it growing anyway. Fantastic. It sucks that it takes so long to actually happen, but that's not the worst. We can do this. And then we can get some Gorilla Caps. And then we can just cook that for food, which is fine. And then we can throw this into here. Double... Oh. Wait. What happened? Wait. Okay, prepare for the run. Why did that say... Wait, was there another thing right there for a second? Kind of confused, actually. Because there's nothing else for me to do, right? Okay, no. Yeah, very confused. Let's go make some food. We'll end this cycle, and then whatever comes next time, I guess, is what's going to happen. Oh, it takes 2 of these for food. I forgot. This one's 1, this one's 2. Okay, that's 2 days worth of food, so we won't need to worry about that anymore. Okay, they're almost done unloading, so they'll be gone. I don't think I'll need the scraps, though, anyway. Alright, so let's see what happens. I have a bad feeling about this. I think I've already messed up, unfortunately, but let's hope there's something I can pull back from this. Yeah, we got a 5, a 4, a 1, a 6, and a 6. Fantastic. She's gone, Sleeper. Beaky's breathless and shaking. She started the run without us. No! Let's go. If we head to the corridor now, Peak starts back up the corridor. They turn back. She has to make it, Sleeper. She has to. She runs down her spine. Essie, I hope you know what you're doing. Okay. You arrive, frantic and anxious at the corridor. Peak is nowhere to be seen. Then you hear footsteps hammering on the metal stairway. Helene's drone led you through before, the one that leads up to the observation deck. You leap up the stairs 2 at a time and make it to the top, momentarily blinded by the light pouring into the observation deck. Sleeper? Peak emerges from the light. I knew she is trying to protect me, but it's okay. She chose. What about my choice, Sleeper? I'm not a child anymore. I can fight for myself. They turn away. There she is. Peak rushes to the wide window, leaning forward to catch a glimpse of the climbing Briar's blue XPR livery against the black of the void. You spot the climbing Briar, a glint of blue and white, and beside it the red glare of the tug's lights. The tug crew went with her. Peak smiles. I knew they'd keep their word. That'll help. Peak doesn't seem to hear you, but the idea of the crew backing Essie up makes you smile. Maybe this thing will work. Watch as Briar and this tug escort arc down towards the edge of the cordon. Demarcated by the red lights of the perimeter system. So far, so good. The Briar will just look like another refugee ship being escorted into the cordon, at least at a glance. He grips the rail as Essie reaches the edge of the cordon. That invisible net of sensors splayed between ships and drones. Let's hope the blind spot triggered. Getting back to the mess of systems you had to wade through to set it up. The little contingencies you set up to trigger the sensor block out is just the right moment. Without noise, without ceremony, the Briar slides through the cordon. You await the flickering of alarm lights, the swarming of drones, but nothing. Just another cycle, just another ship, as he is in. Both you and Peak let out the breath you've been holding and laugh. How did she do it? Peak smiles, shaking her head. She's good. We did it. Peak smiles wider. Yes, we did. They laugh. Feel a little shaky from the tension, but Peak ease helps you settle. You imagine Essie steely-eyed in the pilot seat of the Briar, searching for a place to dock. Maybe being as stubborn has its advantages? Are you okay? Me? Peak sighs? I think that took years off my life, but I've got to hand it to Essie. She was right. You and Peak turn back to the window, looking for Briar again amongst all the holes, the calm fading as new worries settle in. You spot the Briar first, this time, docking with the largest of the flotilla ships, a vast covered tanker, half of its protective plates removed. Think about the effort it must have taken to get that thing all the way here from the inner system. You watch the Briar, unable to get any sense of progress from its placid exterior. They will be offloading everything now, Peak says, both assuring you and themselves that everything is going to plan. Think all the supplies loaded into the Briar and how long the process of loading them might take. The bay was packed, ran with everything you could offer, and then thought of bringing all that to the flotilla makes you smile. You think of the reaction of the refugees, of the welcomes they'll give Essie as the Briar bearer of such gifts. You even imagine a smile from Essie as she is showered with thanks. You focus on that as you watch the Briar and continue the nervous wait for it to finish unloading. It's breaking off. Peak points at the Briar, and you see this puff of air and dust that accumulates as emergency decompression. Essie must have ended things early, but why? And you see them, the tugs closing in on Briar. Havogen must have spotted the ship. You and Peak are up against the window again, willing the Briar a safe path out of the flotilla. Then the Briar shifts in space, a blue blur between the two holes. Peak whistles. Look at that. They smile at you. Looks like the upgraded we put together work. Watch as Essie cuts through the crowded flotilla, the tugs not daring to follow her dangerous path and peeling away. It's hard to keep track of the Briar, and suddenly both of you and Peak are searching the black for a sign. Where has she gone? Then all of a sudden... Wait. Then all of a sudden she is out, blue against the black, pulling away from the cordon on a wide arc back towards the station. A clean run. Peak cheers and smiles at you. We did it. She's out. The beam uncontrollably at you. The tension released. You find yourself smiling too. Lying with those two beautiful idiots and their beautiful ship. And Peak is hugging you, squeezing you with all the nervous energy that she had been building. Thank you, Sleeper. We did this together. They step back, still smiling. We did something. We still got the other shoe to drop, unfortunately. Come on. They rush out of the observation deck. Let's meet her. Oh, we got an upgrade point from that. Nice. I mean, I guess we'll just hang on to it. There's nothing else I can upgrade for 1 point. Keep 2 dice even when condition is breaking. Yeah, we'll just hang on to those, I guess, for now. We have two 6s and a 5. I want to hang on to that before we start doing anything crazy, because I don't know what's about to happen next. You and Peak rush into the Briar, finding yourselves in the now empty bay. The change is a reminder of what you achieved. Looking around, you feel all the more satisfied. A hiss sounds at the far end of the bay, and Essie enters, looking exhausted. Peak runs up to the entrance to embrace her, but she sits down on the bay floor before they reach her. You did it, they sit beside her. Essie, you were incredible. She smiles a small smile at this, laying her head on Peak's shoulder. You suddenly feel like you were intruding, seeing the two of them like this, quiet and content. Sleeper, Peak calls, come on over. You cross the bay and sit beside them on the hard metal floor. Essie, Peak asked, did you give the flotilla our chairs? They both burst out laughing at the ridiculousness of it all, at the exhaustion, the worry, and everything else. You laugh too. It is impossible not to, and after a while you all come to a stop. Peak wiping their eyes, and Essie shaking her head. You would have loved to see it, Sleeper, Essie says quietly. The welcome I got? They came to greet the ship once I docked, to offload the supplies. I told them I was coming, of course, as soon as I got inside the cordon. There were so many. Children, families, they were smiling at me, shaking my hand. Saul was there too, Peak, and he's just as gruff as he sounds over comms. She smiles. It took it all, crate after crate, until the ship was emptied out. Essie looks away, but there were so many, and even with everything we managed to bring, they needed more. They made me promise I would try to come back. Essie, Peak shakes their head. You know we can't do that twice. Stands up. What are we supposed to do? Wait for them to lift the quarantine? She is angry again, that familiar tension rising in her voice. Peak tries to pull her back down. Sit, Essie, rest. You have done enough for today. Don't, Peak. I know my limits, Essie hardens. Okay, well, seeing as they didn't catch you, perhaps they will lift it. They knew the flotilla poses no danger now, and if they can account for the extra load of the life support. Essie walks away towards the ladder that leads up into the upper part of the ship. I need a rest, Peak. She holds up a hand. Sleeper? And then she limps up the ladder, step by painful step. Afraid if we were expecting a change in Essie's demeanor. Peak smiles at you. It's okay, let her rest. It's okay, let her rest. Peak nods. I think I need some rest too. They put a hand on your shoulder and get up from the floor. We couldn't have done this without you, Sleeper. I know those in the flotilla would thank you too. Go rest. Peak limps up the ladder too, leaving you alone on the metal floor of the bay. Your thoughts drift all over to all those people on the flotilla, sleeping and sitting on metal floors like this, children, families playing in cargo bays and repurposed fuel tanks. You know their story isn't over yet, and you look forward to meeting them. The quarantine will lift, and you feel more sure of this fact every moment, even though you aren't sure why. Lie back on the metal and stare at the ceiling. What was it Fang told you? Erlin said the eye opens for us all. Maybe the old guy was right. A home for the lost. You like the idea of that. Maybe in time you can help make that a reality. Something is bothering you. A sliver of a thought like a splinter you can't extract. Why are thousands of refugees coming here now? People don't abandon their homes for nothing. What wave is rushing through the system, and when will it reach the eye? You shudder on the cold metal floor and get up. Something is coming. You can feel it. This isn't over. I agree. It isn't over. Ooh, what's this? Episode Flux complete. The first part of Flotilla story is complete. Episode Refugee begins when the cycle clock below is filled. Good luck! The Gathering Storm. What's done is done. Now all you can do is wait to see what happens next. Okay. So, with that, I'm going to assume I need to start gathering more stuff. We've got 2 ship mines and most of that. We're probably going to need some more scrap components and probably more food. So, the adventures continue in the getting supplies ready for this next thing. we just kind of keep throwing stuff at stuff and hoping for things and stuff. And then stuff and things and things and stuff. This, start the action. So the more of this I can do, this is good too, because this gives us the food we're probably going to need for this next bit. Alright. Yeah, this is a little bit more dangerous. Let's keep throwing stuff at this. Okay. I mean, this is the best I can do. Reroll? 3. Okay. Probably throw that at the mushrooms. Because I do need one more spore to be ahead on that. Perfect. There, now we have plenty. Okay, great. I'm probably going to use one of these scrap items. Now that we can go get scrap items, I'm not as worried about, like, keeping them. So we'll just burn one of these, stay ahead of the curve in the cycle. So we have nothing pressing right now. We just have to wait for the next DLC thing to start. Took longer than I thought to get through that first one, so we're probably not going to finish it tonight. So we've got at least probably 2 more streams of this then. We've got a 3, a 5, a 2, a 3, and a 1. Not the best. Let's see. Okay, scrap components. Man, I don't love these numbers. Probably throw this at mushrooms then. Plus 2, plus 2. Let's try this. See if we can't get to 6. Have energy to sacrifice for this right now. Okay, we're at 7, so that's fine. Reroll these. A 2 and a 1 turn into a 2 and a 2. Fudge. Okay. What can I do with these? Just trying to think what I can do with these. Maybe I just turn these into food? Nice. That was the negative outcome. But I got 2 energy plus the 1. Okay, so it's safe. Nothing bad happens to me even if I get the negative 1. Okay. That's great, actually. Perfect. Neutral outcome is the same. And then the Thrill Seeker, we get an extra energy both off of those, so we're full of food. Okay, great. Cycle. I'm really hoping I'm not regretting not throwing those 2s at something else, but okay, we got a 2, a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 5. Okay, that's not terrible. And that's about done. That's about done. I don't know how much food we're gonna need. 10 is a lot. I think the last one we only needed, what, 3 or something? I think I'm gonna keep gathering scrap for now. That's 1. Okay, I'm assuming a neutral will just be damage and... damage and scrap. Yeah. Oh, energy. It cost us energy. Okay, that's actually better for us. I'm actually fine with that. Ooh, I don't know if I love this. Maybe we throw that at a mushroom instead. Let's throw it at this and see if we can't get more food. Okay, neutral was... Oh, we got energy instead. Wait, what? Oh, maybe because of the intuition? That was weird. But it said we got 3 energy, but it looks like we only got 2? That was really odd. But I'm going to re-roll these 2s and see what happens. You got a 3 and a 2, so slight upgrade there. That's probably fine. We can just keep throwing it at this and hoping. Yeah, +3 energy for some reason. Huh. I'm very torn what to do with this. I guess I'll just throw it at this. And hope I actually get positive. Negative. Condition went down. That's fine. We'll can eat this one, I think. So next DLC... Okay, it does start next cycle. We might give that a cycle so I can keep gathering supplies for now. I think we'll just eat this one. Okay, we got a 6, a 5, a 2, and a 1. It hit you like a wave, a white-edged breaker roaring inland with the force of the entire ocean. The Eye, a station at the edge. The impact is a screaming brightness, blanking out everything. Behind it is silence. You float in silence, suspended. No, you do not float, you are the silence. It has filled you up. It has emptied you out. You cease to exist. Time passes, though you do not feel it passing. Then something flickers in the silence, and then something moves. Then something is you. You open your eyes to a metal ceiling of flickering lights. You feel the floor around you, patting it with shaking hands. You assemble an image of yourself lying on the back in a corridor. You shake off the silence and sit up. What was that? You glance around looking for a sign of some change. Damage on the walls, shouts in the distance, fire and fear. Nothing has changed. The silence sits around you like fog. You think, furrowing your brow. How do you think again? It doesn't seem so easy anymore. You force the pathways to light up, the data banks to grant access. You're like a fraction drive starting up after a long shutdown in cold vacuum. In the wave, in the silence. In the wave? And the wave was noise, just as the sound produced by a wave raking across a pebble beach presents trillions of impacts heard as a single roar, so this sound was the result of trillions of electrons flickering in pace heard as a single impossible scream. A memory/image comes to you, one from the moments before the wave hit. You squint as you imagine it, trying to cohere its blurry form. A broken skeletal ring, the eye, and then a vast arc approaching it, a razor-edged white curve, the wave. The wave approaches the eye spins, turning each part to face that vast white edge. You recognize that skeletal data cloud forms, the bright markets, the low end, the greenway, the waste, and then the wave hits just as the flotilla, the cordon turns to face it. And after that, everything is silence. You open your eyes again. This is the epicenter. But of what? Okay. Alright. Even before you reach the cordon, the damage is obvious. The blinking red lights, the drones, the tugs, all gone. Half the cordon's frame has been thrown away, perhaps through the impact of some falling ship. People brush past you in the corridor, both Havogen staff and contractors clearing the cordon. Just push forward. You push through the flow of people, and despite a few suspicious looks, they offer no resistance. The further you pass into the cordon, the less people you see. You see a few sections have been closed off. The bulkhead's doors sealed at red warning lights puncturing the corridors, but otherwise most areas seem functional. Suddenly you feel a hand fall on your shoulder. Havogen security? Should have known better than to wander into this place. You brace yourself as you turn. Sleeper! Beacon embraces you as you turn. What are you doing here? Did you see the cordon go down? Did SC speak with you? Beak glances around and you can see that they are panicked. Havogen are leaving. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. It makes two of us. Ashley left without saying anything. Peek runs a hand through their hair. I was away from the ship, and when I got back, she'd taken it gone. Then I saw the damage to the cordon. Peek looks at you with wild eyes. What if this is some Havogen attempt to clear the flotilla, to scuttle the refugee ships? Don't jump to conclusions. Peek pauses. What do you know, Sleeper? There was a wave. Something knocked me out. Something hit the station. Peek looks and it's hit. Sleeper, we'd all be dead if that was the case. They paused to think. Maybe not an object, but a shockwave, a signal, an EMP would have taken out most of the station, but... Peek runs a hand through their hair. I don't know what you're saying, Sleeper. That doesn't sound... They look away. Down the corridor for a moment. Look, I have to find Essie. I'm sure you felt something, but we can talk about it later. They set off down the corridor. I can't sit around talking any longer. Find me out on the flotilla. I'm going to find a way to Essie no matter what. With that, they rush away into the depths of the cordon, leaving you behind. Seems like you'll need to follow if you want to get any answers. Okay. Oh. The cordon. Find a small shuttle... Wait, you find a small shuttle scavenging supplies from the cordon to take back to the flotilla. You'll take your time if you bring some scrap along. Oh, okay, so here's the scrap thing I needed. Okay. Okay. That... Oh, okay, we can go out here now. Okay, cool. Ah, okay. Hull supplies. Getting necessary supplies to each ship to meet their needs is a huge task. Joining the hauling teams is the simplest thing you can do to help. Damage control. The wave hits systems more than anything, especially those on the ships. So there's 1,000 tiny repair jobs to be done. Oh, okay. Alright, I guess so. Something hit them, and now we're having to help them recover, but we're still not... Shifting ships, systems, and social structures. The only way to navigate the flotilla is by rolling up your sleeves and helping out. Oh, okay then. We can do that, I guess. Do that and then re-roll these. Okay, making good progress. Another six and a 2. Okay. Can't be upset about that. Okay. What's the negative on this? We lose energy. Okay. I'm assuming it'll be 2, but we'll lose energy on a neutral, and then a positive is all. That's fine. Oh, we got a positive anyway. Nice! Good work on that, too. Okay, we got 2 things. Peek and Soul. Pragmatic Captain. We haven't met them before, I don't think. Someone told me I should be thanking you. The voice comes from behind you, cutting through the chaos of the crowded, cavernous bay. You freeze. Don't be afraid now. I've been hunting you, sure, but for all the best reasons. You turn to see a bright eye set in a rough face, framed in a rusted metal. That is... Whew, that's something you got going on there, bud. Soul. He holds out his hand, the other clamped firmly around a knotted wooden cane. Shake his hand. He grips you firmly with a heavy and calloused hand. Forgive me. As soon as I saw you, I knew who you were. Soul puts a hand on your shoulder. I've been told a sleeper was part of that supply run that came in several cycles ago. He nods. A very welcome act, and we all thank you for it. Walk with me, Sleeper. Soul sets off through the bay, his partial suit hissing and cracking as it helps him carry him toward the busy crowds. You notice people making way for you and Soul, standing back and letting you pass. You pass a makeshift kitchen, streaming pots of heating elements, a restless queue collecting meals. That algae that came through isn't exactly a full meal, but with that we have here, we've been able to make it work. See a ladle of a greenish stew dished out. The color is something, isn't it? Soul smiles. Soul leads you out of the larger bay into a corridor lined with storage rooms that are now serving as dorms. You see someone filling a metal container from a stand pipe, the water gushing out readily. Soul nods to the person as she passes. Wait, Soul nods to the person as he passes. Just a little further now, Soul leads you into a freight elevator and whistles to you some unseen operator start it up. It jerks into life, and as you pass through the layers of the ship, you see people on every level, supplies crammed into every available space, and sparks leaping in bursts as the ship is reshaped and modified to sustain its population. If Havogen were expecting an exodus from the flotilla, the flux event has put a stop to that. Soul stretches. Some have crossed to the eye, but many just to gather salvage or score a hot meal. So the pressure on our supplies is shrinking, but not like I'd hoped. With the flux reaching all the way out here, people are starting to understand that our journey might not be over. Sol stares grimly ahead. Suddenly, the freight elevator screeches to a halt, and Sol leads you slowly out into a wide room of chairs and terminals, ringed by a mezzanine and with a glass roof above showing the distant hub, and the far curve of the eye beyond. The people at the terminals nod to him as he enters. This is your ship. Sol nods. That's right. The Pilgrim Seed is mine to care for. He leads you up to a rail platform at the center of the room and stops. She chose me, so to speak. Well, at least her crew did. And I do my best to serve them. Sol looks around the bridge of the ship, a pained expression on his face. I'll admit that the responsibility isn't one that suits me. Though we rarely get to choose such things, he glances back at you. But you, Sleeper, from what I understand, you chose to try to help us here. Is that right? I did my best, too. Sol nods silently. But I have to ask you, Sleeper, why are you here now? Sol leans back and you feel his eyes on you, assessing you. I want to know more. Sol muses. And why would you think we could tell you anything you don't know? He smiles. I have thousands of people here on the Pilgrim Seed, Sleeper, and there's thousands more out in the flotilla. He leans against a railing. A lot of them are looking to me to provide some future for them, some path out of this dead end we've gotten into. And this very cycle, the thing we've been running away from, it's just caught up with us. So these people are scared, Sleeper, and they're looking for me for reassurance. And then on the same cycle, someone tells me they see you on board, a Sleeper, the same Sleeper, they reckon, that wanted so strongly to send a ship past the cordon to see us. Sol scratches at his beard. So the first thing I wanted to do was thank you for that, for your interest. He pauses. But the second thing I wanted to do was find out what you want from us. Sol's suit hisses and creaks. I think that's fair, don't you? Sol takes a deep breath. So what is it? What's happening around Ember? Tell me about the flux. Let me help these people. Tell me about the flux. Someone at a terminal calls out to Sol and he shouts some orders back. He turns to you. Apologies. He smiles that half smile. I tell you what, Sleeper. Let's you and me make a deal. You want information, I understand that, but I have a list of needs longer than the rim of the eye itself. Grimaces. So you do some things for me, and then we can talk about what's been happening in this system, and I will answer all your questions and then some. I may be the captain of the Pilgrim Seed, and she is certainly the biggest ship in the flotilla, but I'm not the only captain here. We have ships here from each of the moons. We're from Ember's Hearth, but there's others from Ember's Song and even Ember's Steppe. The moons have been at each other's throats, Sleeper, but with the pressure of the flux, the bad blood from the old days, Sol leads in. We aren't exactly all in alignment. What I need is a way to stop things escalating, from the crews of these ships and their captains to feel happy and comfortable enough to forget old rivalries and past crimes. He flinches at something. Those from Ember Steppe, well, they're always been proud, but that pride seems to be a barrier to compromise right now. The last set of supplies I sent their way, they refused. Meanwhile, I have a supply shuttle at the docking axis of the Ember's Song ships gathered at, but they have taken far too many cycles to unload. Maybe if you are heading that way, you can look in on them? I'm no politician, Sleeper, but if I don't... Sol stops. He leans back and flexes, his suit screeching. He groans a little, and you see the weight of the flotilla sitting on his shoulders. The suit, the only thing keeping him vertical beneath all the pressure. Look. You'll see for yourself if you go. Meet the other Sleeper, see what they need, keep them aligned. He speaks through the pain. His voice clips. Are you okay? Not really, but as long as this thing holds, he grimaces. I hope. Sol grits his teeth. You are what you appear to be, Sleeper. He smiles his half smile despite the pain, because I'm not sure I can take any more bad news. Plus, there's plenty to be done here on the Pilgrim Seed, too. If you have a moment to pitch in, there's never enough around here. That's something I've learnt the hard way. Sol settles onto the cane, the pain visibly receding. Although I have 1,000 things to attend to now, Sleeper, so you'll have to find your own way out. With that, Sol sits at his terminal with slow and careful movements. You head back down to the freight elevator, and as you do, you see again the layers and layers of chaotic life this vessel and all the vessels on the flotilla hold. Okay, a new drive is added. Okay, we finished flotilla support. Oh, no. Okay, this is... Sol's asking you to help bring stability to the ships from Ember's Hearth. From Ember's Hearth, Song, and Steppe in the flotilla. Okay, what does that mean, though? There's supplies through the cordon or not. Pilgrim Seed and the Hearth refugees on it desperately need help. Okay, Hearth survival or Program seed supplies. Oh, okay, we can give them mushroom. Okay, so we can do dice or this. It means relieving the pressure on the refugees from all 3 moons of the Emperor. Okay. Should have waited before I took the ship over here, I guess, if I could. As you walk in the Bay of the Climbing Briar, the familiarity of the space overcomes any trepidation. It feels good to be back, and the return feels earned, especially after all the work it took to figure out a route through the Flotilla jumble of ships that might lead you to this blue streak. You see Essie and Peak immediately, sitting at the back of the bay, deep in conversation. Their closeness causes you to stop, suddenly aware that you might be interrupting something private. Peak is gesturing wildly as he stares out into the middle distance, hunched over. As Peak tries to get her attention, she spots you. Sleeper, Essie nods. Incredible work back there, she smiles. Sorry I couldn't wait for you and Peak, but the moment I saw the cordon go down, I had to get in here. Peak shakes their head, leaping before looking, as usual. Peak smiles. But I'm glad we're all reunited. To be honest, Peak adds, I can't believe it. The Flux event knocked the entire cordon system offline. The flotilla is free and Havigen are backing off. Peak smiles at you. Must be our good luck charm. That's not a good thing. Flux event? That's what the refugees are calling it, Peak explains. Apparently that's what they called it when it started happening around Ember. What exactly is happening? Hard to tell. It's some kind of disruptive wave that only affects electrical systems, Peak trips in. Typically, systems are screened against radiation and interference, but this seems to be dulled, but not stopped by those defenses. Basically, the crisis continues. The cordon may be down, but this brings a whole other set of problems as he paces away. You should tell them, Essie. Peak glances at her. Please. As he doesn't respond, tell you what? You stare at her back, waiting for a response. Please, Essie. Haven't they shown that they can be trusted? Peak nods towards you. As she turns, her arms folded tightly around her chest, she goes to start and then stops. You see the anger in her eyes, but you realize it's not directed at you or at anyone else. She's angry with herself. I brought weapons to the flotilla, she pauses, and now they are gone. Suddenly remember that sleek crates that were tucked into the bay, marked with a yellow signal, the ones Essie told you were just supplies. What do you mean, gone? What do you think? Essie snaps. Someone lifted them from the ship's bay while I was unloading the supplies, she sniffs. At least they are in the hands of the flotilla now. He looks at you. She knows this was a bad move, Sleeper, I promise you. They glance back at you. She is just too proud to admit it. So what now? He looks at Essie. She finds them and she gets them back. Shouldn't we help? She turns. It's okay, Sleeper. I don't want anyone getting mixed up in this. This is my responsibility. She looks away. Plus, Peak adds, you and I have work to do. I want to understand the flux, Sleeper, to study it. Peak's eyes light up. This thing is changing this entire system, causing problems across the inner system, driving refugees off Ember's moons, and now it's here. If we don't do something about it, Peak pauses, it's a problem for all of us. You can see more immediate problems. As she sniffs, Peak ignores her. I've been looking at the networks, and when the flux event hit, it changed things. It shuffled systems, corrupted nodes, and broke open data stores. They took out a slate and show you a flickering polygon. Some of these flux nodes have appeared near the epicenter of the event, but I can't get access. You, however, I saw the way you worked with the data when you were preparing for the run. I think you can get into those things. I want you to find a flux node and bring me anything you can extract. They come and go, but most can be found in the barely functioning networks of the wastes. Peak pauses. Start there. Perhaps together we can find something that might point us to what the flux is and where it comes from. How will that help? Peak runs a hand through their hair. I don't know, Sleeper. Maybe we can't do anything, but I want to know what this thing is. She looks indignant. Don't waste too much time chasing ghosts, Sleeper. There are people on this flotilla that need any help they can get. I'm sure Sleeper can do both, Essie. Peak smiles at you. Wow, you were just loading up the plate, eh? Not even trying to be subtle about you can do it all. I'll show you here where you have something. Good hunting. And they wave out as Essie stomps away to make plans of her own. Okay, another drive added. Wait. Oh. Or, wait, not? Oh, there we go. Study the flux. Find and access the flux node. We want you to help study. Okay, I have a question. Oh, there's more stuff out here. Oh, God. What else is going on out here? It's a strange sight, given your time spent in the Greenway, to see a greenhouse choked in red dust. Piles up along edges, gathers in curving waves, and is carried by some unseen wind to whirl in front of the glass ceiling. It's a desert in miniature, a captured landscape of iron-rich sediment and unseen life. Beautiful, isn't it? The remark comes from another figure standing at the viewing window. So clearly that you hadn't noticed them. Did they just arrive, or were they here before you were? Their clothes swaddled form reveals itself. It is. They say nothing. You catch a glimpse of a pale face among the thick material, dark eyes glinting in the red reflected light. They turn to you as the dust swirls. Aki. They smile in a tight smile. You're not from the flotilla, am I right? I live on the Eye. But that is not where you are from. She stares into the greenhouse. Everyone is from somewhere, whether they wish to be or not. The red dust glitters in her eyes, whether it is a good place to be from or not. Aki gathers her cloak around her shoulders against the cold. What brings you to the wind's long shadow? Soul sent me. Anki doesn't respond. She looks absent-mindedly at the dust. You are a strange one. Aki raises his eyebrow. I don't know whether to report you or send you back to where you came from. She smiles to herself. Which is nowhere at all. You glance around the empty corridor, suddenly aware of how quiet it is on the ship. Unlike the other ships you have been on, the flotilla there is a silent order to the wind's long shadow, and in the moment it feels unsettling. What happened here? Aki squints. This is a broad question, and I'm not in the mood to recount the history of this ship or Step. Step? Aki turns away, irritated, eager to change the subject. You hear a creak as a set of shutters slowly begin to close across the glass ceiling of the greenhouse. As you watch, you feel the dissonance of this place has, with that word, there's nothing green here. A dust house, perhaps. It takes many systems to preserve this landscape, Aki begins. To simulate the wind, cycle the dust, layer the sand and dirt beneath. You watch the swirling. Systems that are failing. The flux event, Aki glances at you from a sign of recognition of this term, is eroding our ability to keep this place alive, to keep these traces of Step alive. She smiles to herself. Which is ironic, because when we left Step, the flux had eroded our ability to survive on the moon. Now the situation is reversed. Away from the moon, its ecosystems are as fragile as we were living upon it. Something catches your eye as the shutters darken the dust house. The winds, picking away at the dunes, begin to reveal something, a web, a network of thick, branched forms. And then they close completely, and you see nothing in the dark. Soft blue lights flicker on in the corridor, uplifting Aki in cold cyan. Cyan? Kion? It's blue, I think, is the description. I think that's a word for blue, but I'm not trying to pronounce it. You've piqued my curiosity, but I'm so tired. Aki shivers. If you do not have a purpose here on the ship, I recommend finding one. Otherwise, I'm afraid you'll need to leave. Make yourself useful, and perhaps we will get another chance to talk, she turns. I would like that. With that, Aki pads away along the corridor. You stand for a moment in front of the dark dust house, trying to imagine the network of roots under the sand and dust, and then trying to imagine the moon that once housed them. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, so there's stuff to do here, but it doesn't look like I'm on a timer, which is good. The crew won't let you in the dust house, but there are plenty of supporting systems that could do with some love and care. Is there any nodes I need to worry about out here? What we got? Oh, this is the fluxed node. A 6, a 5, or a 4. Okay, we can probably get that next cycle. Let's see. Upload supplies. Sole shipment of supplies sits partially unloaded and the crew absent. If you want to help, the best way would be to finish the job. Oh, okay. And that's just a +1 on our endure, huh? Alright. Got 1 point. Okay, that's fine. I mean, we can't do anything else right now anyway because we're out of dice, but... Where are we on this? Okay, we can start doing that too. Okay, so right now they're not requesting a ship mind or spare parts, so we might actually be okay then. Do I still have? I do. Okay. I can still sleep here. Yeah. I think we're good. Plenty of work to do. We got a couple of minutes left, so where are we at? Okay, we're over 4 hours. So. Oh, brutal! A 4, a 1, a 1, and a 1. Ow! Oh god. Okay. Okay, so this is mostly taken care of. It doesn't seem like this is on a timer, but I want to do it sooner rather than later. All right, cool. So let me re-roll these and see what happens. We have 3 1s. Okay, we got a 3, a 1, and a 5. That's a raw upgrade as far as I'm concerned. Okay. We can use that 1 on probably mushroom gathering. Okay, we need to do 2 more of those for this. Okay. Okay, 50-50 on this, basically. Well, I guess technically it's a 75-25, but only kinda. Let's see what it gives me. Okay, we got another cap. Not great, but not terrible. We can go and just make food. So far, they're not requesting food. It seems like most of the stuff I need to do is already there. Oh, are you... Hey, you're back. Awesome. Cool. I can just do this with money, and I can make money very quickly. And if we get another ship mine, or another part, I can turn that into something. Okay, that was all scavenger stuff on that one. Cool. Make some food. Cool. It's 2 rotations where hopefully I'm not going to need to... eat. So that'll be the last one that we'll have to take meds. What do we got? 4, a 3, a 4, and a 3. Okay, that's not terrible. We can turn that into stuff. That's 2 6s and 2 5s basically for what we're doing. Whoa, flicker, flicker, flicker. Oh, we gotta take the flux data. Forgot about that. I don't know if I want to trigger that just yet. Make yourself useful. Plus 2. Okay, interface. Because there's not a timer on it, or at least not that we can see. That's a +1 for endure. Okay, so we can probably finish this up. Throw a 3 on that. Oh, come on, really? That's frustrating. Now we get the good end. Okay, fine. So finds you deep in the layers of the Pilgrim Seed, working on a patch for a life support vent. You hear him coming, his suit hissing as he does. I had to ask around to find you, he smiles. Seems you know the place better than me these days. I put the time in, and we thank you for it. It's all hands on a hand. Stands up and let me see you. He pulls you to your feet. I don't believe we ever had a sleeper on Ember's hearth. Soul looks up at you and down. You sure do make me wish we had. Could have done with a few workers as good as you. Thank you? Soul nods. You're welcome. Seems like I owe you some answers. Seeing as you've been working hard on the Pilgrim Seed these past cycles, he leans against a crate, his suit creaking. What do you want to know about? Ember's hearth, you, the flux. Full size, that's what I imagined. He scratches at his beard. I can't say I'm an expert, but I can tell you what we have witnessed on Hearth. First, we ignored it. A few farms had their automation systems blink out. Lifter suits locked up. Bots reset their schedules. Nothing we hadn't seen before. But then the news came out of the Passera. They had been hit harder. The local network had gone down and no one could get it back up. It was rough for a while, but out in the farmland we were used to that. Passera? Capital of Hearth. Tens of thousands of souls made it their home, Soul grimaces. Anyway, we thought the flux was a freak event until the day they got the network running again. That's when the cascade happened. System after system corrupted, data lost, and then another flux hit, and then another. The bots were running circles in the fields. People had to be cut off out of their lifter suits like mine. And the city, I never saw it, but I heard from the others. Soul shivers. It only got worse from there. We couldn't seem to fight it. It cut us right open. That's what I knew about the flux. Some folks say it came from the inner system, that it might be connected to some old tech there or something, but I never heard anything more than rumors. Soul scratches their beard. Sorry, I don't have better news. Soul shifts the crate. Anything else you wanted to know? Or something else. Ember's hearth. Sure, he smiles. I mean, I spent my whole life on that rock, so I have plenty to tell. I'll save my life story for another time, he winks, but the short of it is that Hearth is the first of Ember's moons, the biggest and most populated, which is down to the successful terraforming system Cybele set up back when Solheim owned the system. How are relations with other moons? Soul smiles. Depends on who you've been talking to. You shouldn't mistake me for a politician, Sleeper. That's for others to do. He gives you a look. But Ember's Step was a test ground for the terraforming tech that Hearth is built on, while Ember's Song was the extraction site for the raw materials and energy used to make it work. You can imagine that might lead to some tension. Wow. Okay, yeah, a little bit. But Ember's Step, which is the long shadow or whatever, was the testing ground for the terraforming, which is Aki, I think. And then Ember's Song, I think it's just the one where we're helping unload stuff. We haven't met anyone there. However, Soul holds up his hands. Despite what people might say, Hearth was never fully stable. Soul shakes his head. Cybele liked to talk it up, but after they pulled out and Solheim left, our people discovered that they had left. They'd have to keep the system running themselves, or the place would soon up as dry as steppe. Hearth was good as long as the evaporators kept running, kept filling our skies with clouds. Even after the collapse, our people kept those things going, turning that subsurface ocean into a periwinkle blue sky. Soul smiles. The flux ended that, though, and when they failed, the rains failed, and the harvests with it. Soul pauses. Soon you have a city without a way to feed itself. Soul shudders. That's when we, some of us, made the decision to set out on this place. Set out on this place. He gestures at the pilgrim seed and look for another future. Soul shift on the crate. Anything else you want to know? I'm good. I don't need to know his... You sure? Soul smiles. Actually, spit it out then. Soul squints at you. Soul squints at you. You want to know about me? I'm not sure that was part of the deal I was thinking of, Sleeper. Unless you were asking about this. He raps on the metal of his suit. In case you haven't guessed, this is the only thing keeping me vertical. He adjusts a shoulder piece. It's a lifter suit made from working the fields. We had to modify it so I could walk around after the accident. And that's all I'm saying, Sleeper, because to be honest with you, I don't owe you more than that. You want to know about the flux, about Ember's Hearth? Go ahead, but don't pry into my life, and I won't pry into yours. Soul lets the silence sit, staring hard at the floor. The suit seems to loom over him, looking more like a burden than a support. With the bars around his head, you suddenly start to think of it as a cage. Look, I didn't mean to be rude. Let's leave it there. There's too many eyes on me on this ship as it is, and I'd rather just slip into the background. Thank you very much. Soul shift on the crane. Anything else? I'm good for now. I'm sure. Soul stands, flexing against his suit. He takes his cane in his hand. Keep it up, Sleeper. He smiles as he leaves, making me think I need to start making new plans for this place. That Soul leaves, and you wonder what he means. As he creaks away down the corridor, you can't help but feel there's more to him than it seems. Okay, so are we done here? Okay, we're done with that one. I'm curious now, though, is there any ongoing effect on the main station? We know 2 different AI that this might have affected. And it looks like it had 0 effect on the main station. I guess they wanted to keep this maintained to DLC stuff only? I guess? Yeah, there's nothing different out here. That's so bizarre to me. Huh. Also, it's weird that there's no timers on anything now. It's just kind of do it as you please. Which is insane considering the last part of the DLC had nothing but non-stop stuff going on. Alright. Again, this doesn't have a timer, so I'm going to worry about it last. I hope that doesn't come back to bite me. I'm going to have to take my meds, but that's okay. Interface, I think it's $5. If it triggers, I think it's $5. If it triggers. Okay, make yourself useful. Okay. Because it's going to be better for me to maintain all my dice. Okay, we're at 3. With scrap than it is to try to build all that back up. Okay, we're good. We sleep. Ooh, that's much better. Okay, a 4, a 3, a 6, a 5, and a 5. Yes, thank you. I will happily accept this. Alright, +2 on this. We could actually save that 3 for, well, we could save all of this technically, I guess. We'll try a 5 and see what happens. Perfect. Okay. I see you've been contributing. Aki stands next to you at the dust house window. I was unsure what to expect when we joined the flotilla on its voyage to the Eye, but after the journey across the system, then the quarantine, and then the flux reaching all the way out here too. Aki stops herself. Thank you. She bows a little. The other ships have been interested in sending us supplies, but we grow all we need. She gestures at the dust house. What the dust house need, that is the problem that concerns us. He smiles and turns to you. Shall we go inside? I'd love to. He smiles. Come. She taps away at a panel by the window. It's only fair that after you help with the support system, you get to see what it is that you are maintaining. Aki leads you to an opening beside the window. You pass through a dark changing room. You notice Aki is sliding on an oxygen mask and a visor. She looks at the swirling dust inside. Inside is just like Ember's step. Thin atmosphere, constant dust storms, nothing that will bother you. She passes you a mask. The dust isn't exactly pleasant to inhale, however, so take this. You hold it to your face. She leads you through a short decontamination tunnel with its fizzing panels of purifying light, and then through into the dust house. Immediately, the wind and the heat hits you. You feel the rough waves of dust scattered across your face, peer through the ember murk. You feel your feet slide on shifting piles of sand. Welcome to the stepped, or an emulation of it at least. Aki's voice sounds distant, echoey. The terraforming process only managed to provide a limited atmosphere around the moon, one which is slowly escaping. It's been like that since I was born, so I got used to the idea. You catch her bright eyes through the amber dust. So did everything else that lives there. You feel something hard beneath your feet, beneath the sand, like a coil of rope. Look down. You simply look down and see something pale and twisted poking out of the sand. Like he sees you looking. This is the steppe silk. It's one of the plants we established on the steppe. She kicks away some red sand. Like any bast fiber, it can be retted and woven into clothes. I'm wearing some made from it myself. It's one of many species adapted to the steppe since the Solheim collapse, which is why it must be preserved. She stares out into the swirling dust. It is as much a refugee as we are. The dust house holds hundreds of other species. She looks at the pale, unassuring root threaded thickly through the sand. Aki watches you silently. Had enough? Louise is to speak outside. Aki leads you back out through the decontamination tunnel, which blasts the dust from both of you with a burst of metallic-tasting air and into the changing room. Aki hangs up both the masks, partially awaiting your questions. What happened on Ember's step? Aki pauses, pulling her shawl around her. She looks small and pale inside its layers. Steppe was already a doomed world, she sniffs. When Solheim gave the terraforming contracts to Sabelli, they believed they could build an atmosphere, but the moon's erratic orbit made it impossible to maintain. By the time the Solheim collapsed, the atmosphere was already fading, and Celebi's attention was on Ember's hearth. After the collapse, Celebi fell too. Its researchers scattered across the moons, and any central organization lost. Since then, my parents' generation worked tirelessly to survive, to adapt what we had to the failing moon. The steppe silk, the other adapted species, are the life's work of the steppe's colonies. So when the flux started to collapse our computer systems, corrode and destroy our life support, our water supply, our agriculture, we had to leave. Aki sits heavily on a nearby bench. Soon the only traces of the steppe will be on this ship. Aki begins to cry quietly. You're unsure what to do. sit beside her. You sit on the bench beside her as she sobs. You understand why the ship, why the refugee from Steppe are so different. The world was already dying when the Flux arrived. Ember Steppe is a terraformed moon, a partial atmosphere, established colonies, agriculture, and yet when the Flux event started, its people had to leave. You think of the Eye and the delicate web of decaying systems it rests upon. What hope does a ruined station have against a wave that corrupts, corrodes, and collapses? Aki interrupts your thoughts, rubbing her eyes. Not everyone left. There wasn't room to take all the people and fill the dust houses. My parents, their friends, and many others stayed, she sniffs. We carry the step for them. Well, perhaps there is hope. We'll learn not to talk of hope on a dying world. There's meaning for them and any future they can build with the time they have. She stands up. I wanted you to understand the importance of these dust houses, of what they contain. She leads you back out into the corridor. As the Flux events continue to reach out to the Eye, we need to build protections to ensure their safety. Aki meets your eye. What about the people? He looks away. We aren't idiots, Sleeper. We chose to carry this burden. We will survive. Those dust houses are already decaying. I've seen it. She stares into the dust. We had thought that they would last longer, but that last Flux event... Help us. Aki looks at you, please. I will. When you are ready, we will begin the preparations for reinforcing the dust houses. We need to be ready for the next Flux event. Aki's eyes shine with the last of her tears. She takes a breath. I will see you soon. Aki drifts away from the corridor, leaving you alone once more at the viewing window, watching the ragged, delicate traces of the moon known as Ember Steppe. Alrighty. Oh, okay. So now we have to help them preserve stuff. Improving the dust house isn't the only way to sustain the Steppe silk. With intuitive care, the plant can be made more resistant. Interesting. Dust house shielding. Aki's device upgrades that will protect the dust house from both flux and their slow decay. She needs you to implement them. Okay. Okay. We don't know anything about this one yet. Sole shipment of supplies sits partially unloaded. The crew absent if you want to help. This is an endure, +1s. Alright. Unfinished business. Might be the worst way to go about doing this, but we're doing it anyway. Someone comes to help you unload for a while, making the work go quicker. When you ask their name, they ignore you. What's going on? There's a loose crowd around the supplies you have unloaded and an intense mood brewing among them. You sit nearby on the edge of the shuttle's docking tunnel, resting. Further away, crews from Ember's Song continue their lives as usual, coming and going, trading, discussing. There's a quiet efficiency to the hub, set up as a common space with a swarm of small ships from Ember's Song that are part of the flotilla. Unlike Hearth or Steppe, there's no one capital ship for the moon's refugee. It's just a mass of individuals traveling in concert. We told Hearth we didn't want their scraps. The jeering voices come out of the small, crowded crowd nearby. It's Peter, I guess is with how that translates. Steely Ember's Song refugee. You're going to see a gaunt, pale man wearing the industrial work gear you have seen many of the Song refugees wearing. You hear me? These supplies are to help. He smirks. Oh, how noble of you, coming out here to help us singers. Help us singers. There's a rumble of anger around the crowd. We agreed to join the flotilla for joint protection. We did not agree to Ember's Hearth using the flotilla to secure their patrol of the moons. I realize Peter is addressing the crowd as much as he is addressing you. With the cordon down, our crews are more than able to acquire what is needed for the Eye. From the Eye, what is owed as restitution for keeping us restrained. He pats one of the crates you unloaded. What we need, we will take. I have no stake in this. Then why are you delivering supplies for Hearth? Peter laughs. You need to check your alliances, Sleeper. Peter looks around at the crowd. Hearth thinks they can buy us, but we remember the past. A rumble of agreements runs through the crowd. He smiles at them. Take the supplies if you wish, of course. We are not wasteful. Peter approaches you directly. The crowd tentatively moves forward, and by the time he reaches you, they are already dragging away crates and disturbing the contents. Wow. So, of course there's got to be the one militant faction, right? Of course there does. I'm not one for shooting the messenger, Sleeper, says Peter as he approaches, but we cannot concede to Hearth here. Not for a moment. I don't understand. I can see that. Peter sits beside you on the docking tunnel's lip. What was your plan, Sleeper? Unload the supplies and wait for someone to start throwing them back at you? He nods to the crowd, laughing through the crates, because that's what was about to happen. Stay silent on this one. What do you think happened to the crew of this shuttle? He shakes his head. They were chased out of this place. Why do they hate Hearth? We, Peter says with emphasis, do not hate Hearth. We simply do not trust them. Do you know anything about Ember's Moon, Sleeper? Or were you planning to wander into this flotilla totally blind? No, an objective outsider offering help. He rolls his eyes. Educate me then. He smiles. It would be my pleasure. I'm going to assume you know the basics. The gas giant Ember has 7 moons. The 3 biggest are Ember's Step, Ember's Song, and Ember's Heart. Winks. We can cover the 3 sisters next session. Step was the first to be settled. On contract, Old Slime gave the terraformers Sibeli Systemes when they first claimed the Holium system. That's way back when. Zeb was a testing ground, and like most testing grounds, it didn't turn out too well. A partial atmosphere slowly sloughing off each orbit, a dysfunctional ecosystem, and a whole load of dust-clogged settlers. That place's miserable desert long past its best before date. Sybil moved to Hearth, where they redoubled their efforts. The subsurface ocean and some balmy tidal heating helped, allowing them to build a real atmosphere, a real habitable world. In fact, that the typical Hearth colonist won't ever let you forget. How did Sybil achieve such a thing, you might wonder? Well, that's where we come in. It's that same old rule of surrogacy. The one humility built over universe around. The one humanity built our universe around. Peter claps a hand to his chest in mock pride. My moon, Ember Song, is a sulfur-soaked rock covered in volcanoes, tidally heated by its inner orbit to sweltering temperatures, exactly the kind of crucible you need to fuel a terraforming project. Energy, industry, fuel, Song provided the raw materials for Hearth, Peter grimaces, willingly or not. What? And a crucible requires people to run it. Us singers. Poured into a flaming pit and asked to stroke it so others might live in a paradise in the making. That's what we had to endure, until Solheim brought everything down. Peter rattles off his speech from memory, and you wonder how many times he has delivered it. No Solheim, no contract, no Cybe, and no Cybe meant 3 moons suddenly independent. Peter shakes his head. It was a war, Sleeper. Sometimes hot, sometimes cold, and unsurprisingly, Hearth and Step came out of it better than us. The desert planet, I want everyone to understand this. If you're listening to this, I want to make sure I'm understanding what this idiot is saying. The dying desert planet that was super unhospitable to life and was slowly becoming unlivable because its atmosphere was going away, came out better than your planet. What? Okay, bud. All right, sure. Okay, sure. Yet, Peter holds up a hand. They need us, Sleeper. Always have, and so we are the linchpin. We are the center around which the moons orbit, not swirling Ember. We've resisted takeovers, sieges, and expansions, and now we'll resist this. Half the people on these ships think the flux was caused by Hearth, intentionally or otherwise, and I have to say, some cycles I agree. So before you come here to hand out supplies like a good soldier, maybe intricate yourself. I want to call this guy out, but you abandoned Song. Peter bristles. I want you to imagine what it was like to try to live on an airless, volcanic rock when every system that sustains you starts shutting down. He spits and wipes his sleeve across his mouth. We abandoned nothing. Some stayed, others left, but we will reclaim Ember as soon as the flux fades or ends. We've weathered worse. I understand. Do you now? Peter meets your eyes. Well, perhaps you'll start running errands for Hearth then. I won't keep you from docking access, Sleeper. No one here has the authority for that. Watch yourself here. Try to remember that the Eye is just another in the long list of people who have tried to control us. I understand. Peter nods. Then let it guide your actions. Peter sighs. Look, we are many, and we have many needs. Ships come to this docking access for repairs, requisitions for friendship. You can provide these as well as any singer. I understand that you're trying to make a module that's interactive. Whoever, the person who made this, it's a very small team. The problem is what you've just said is basically the complete opposite of everything you presented in this initial meeting. Look, we are many and we have many needs. Ships come to this docking access for repairs, for requisitions, for friendship. They do not. You can provide these as well as any singer. You actively said that is not the case moments ago. I understand they're trying to make this a thing, but this is incredibly short-handed writing right here in this sentence, like this, or this paragraph. Because he's basically just flipped from, we don't need your help and we don't want your help, to, you can become friends with us. What? What probably should have happened here is a second character should have been brought in, and Peter could be like the Essie, right? Like the hard-headed, super stubborn one, and then you bring another character in to play the more reasonable one. In this case, I think it should probably be another man. They've been doing a lot of the... Well, they've been kind of all over the place with it, so they've done a pretty good job of mixing it. I'll say that much. I think in this case, it would be nice to see a guy being like the calm one, even if it's a guy with another guy. And they don't have to be romantic or anything like they've implied with a lot of the other like female on and they, you know, non-binary character stuff. But I think it would have been better in this case to bring in a second character that was a man to have this dialogue with, so that we have kind of such not a hard contradiction of super stubborn to let's try to work on this a little bit. I don't know. It feels very not together. If you want to help in your own name, Sleeper, not in the name of Hearth. Peter shakes his head. Carry that name here and you will lose all trust. Be as we are, act in your own name alone. Peter puts a hand on your shoulder and stands. I hope I didn't just waste my time here, Sleeper. And with that, he walks away, back to the shrinking crowd that is disturbing the last of the supplies amongst the crews present. I mean, I give them all the credit that they are apparently very organized and very, what's the term? Not diligent, but very in control of themselves. There's a term for it. Disciplined. They're very disciplined. They seem very well organized and very disciplined, and that's great. But everything he said about them makes it not make any sense on why they're even here. He's trying to, it's like he's trying to say that it's, I don't know. I guess it's just all the pride that they have is just too over the top. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like you should have just introduced another character that was a little bit more approachable than Peter, but I don't know. Watch them pass the food and the water between them. No signs of conflict between the crews, just a careful distribution of resources. Peter chants with a few crews, each of them casting looks in your direction, one that reveals little about the singer's intentions. You stand. It seems the tensions of the flotilla run much deeper than you expected. This won't be easy. It doesn't have to be easy. You don't have to care. Your job is to not let them die because you're a good person. If they're too stupid or stubborn to take your help, that's on them. And maybe that makes me a bad person because I'm not willing to... I'm willing to bring you the food, but I'm not willing to shove the food down your throat when you don't want it to keep you alive. I'm only willing to go so far in helping you. Maybe that makes me a bad person. I don't know. Oh, they need a ship mind. Okay. Oh, and they need supply spores. Wow. All right. Hey, hey, guess what? Bam. And bam. Done. And done. As Peter said, the singers will only trust you if you act independently of Hearth. Fulfilling supply requests is a good start. The boards have been seated, and while some may be conscious of your efforts, crew by crew, you'll convince them. You supplied the ship mine, but as a way, it seemed to only make the crew more suspicious of you. Okay. As you cross the access, looking for a shuttle to take you back to the ruined cordon, you spot Peter, standing at the edge of the central hub. Something about the way he is leaning against the rail, looking down across the axis and toward the blinking lights of the flotilla beyond, make you pause. He is completely still, his head dropping low and his shoulders hunched high. I guess we'll go talk to him for the story, but if it was me in this situation, I would just let him do whatever he's doing. I don't care. I don't like Peter so far. Maybe he'll make a turn and I'll understand this better, but as of right now, I don't know. I feel like they were very rude to my character because I came to help them. And it's like, alright, I guess. Lean on the railing a little away from Peter, leaving it. I guess, let me refine that a little bit. They don't like you because they think you're from Hearth, even though that doesn't make any sense because they know for a fact you're not from Hearth. So, I mean, I guess you could say that maybe Hearth mentioned that they got some of their supplies from a sleeper, so they inherently don't trust you or something. But it just feels their not aggression is incredibly aggressive for not aggression. Lean on the railing a little way from Peter, leaving a gap between you. The close, you can see the blank stare in his eyes, the way his hands hang limply in front of him. He takes a minute to notice you. Sleeper, he inhales sharply, still hanging around. Trying to be useful. Peter smiles a tight smile, but doesn't turn to face you. That a sleeper thing? Needing to be useful? It's a me thing. It would make sense, Peter closed his eyes. Tools need to be used. What's up with you? Peter stands back from the railing. Who invited you, Sleeper? Who said you could come here? You think because the Hearthers decided to name you their errand boy, we have to put up with you? Okay, so is this guy going to turn out to just be evil? I mean, it makes sense. The DLC needs an evil character. We don't want you here. We don't need you. His eyes burned with rage. Go home, you stupid machine. A second after he shouts that final line, he collapses in on himself, staying upright, but all the energy going out of his body. He slumps back against the railing, his eyes closed once more. You wait. After a while, he speaks. I'm tired, Sleeper. Tired of everything. I'm tired of the empty patronalism of Hearth. I'm tired of the paranoid whining of the crews. I'm tired of endless cycles that look the same, smell the same, feel the same. I'm tired of running, of hiding, of fixing every stupid thing that breaks out here. His shout echoes a little in the hub, but few stop to look. He looks down at his feet. Everyone is tired. Peter doesn't react. He stands. I'm going to go. He looks at you and sniffs. Get some sleep. Sleep well. Peter nods slowly, turning away. He raises a hand and drifts away towards the center of the hub. You turn back to the railing, not wanting to watch him go. Seeing him like this, you prefer not to stare. The traffic of the Axis rumbles on as you watch, under an endlessly shining sun. The same air recycled through all these lungs, the same dust gathering speck by speck on the windows. You take a sharp breath, stand straight, and get moving, before the inertia of it all gets to you. Alright, so what's next for them? Let's see. Access assistance. Okay. The Axis houses are overflowing. The Axis houses an overflowing job board of engineering tasks requested by the crews. You can help out here. The Axis is as much as a social hub as it is a supply hub. Keeping good relations with the crews will help them trust your work. Okay. Huh. We can lose money here. The more work you do for the singers, the more you get to know the crews, the more they will trust you. Okay, it's like that. Okay. Preservation. Like, these people are proud, like, the Dust House people, the Ember Step facility, it's proud, like, they're proud of where they came from, but they're not aggressive about it. Whereas these people are just like, you're not one of us, so you don't understand. It's like, that's fine, but I'm bringing you food so you don't die. You can not like me, I guess, but you can't almost aggressively attack me for bringing you food. It just kind of weirdly screams of, like, what's the term? Like, projecting? Like, I think I'm not particularly good, so I'm gonna assume everyone else isn't very good, so you must be evil. It's like, no, that's not. Alright, what do we got? Find and access the Flux node and Flotilla support. What time is it? 7:30? Okay. That's a good time. Yeah, 4 hours and 45 minutes. Not too bad. I think if all the DLC, if this is all the DLC, like we did this one, and then now we do this one, and then the third one is going to be Because I think the second one was called Refugees, and then the third one, I don't remember what the third one's called, but I'm assuming it's like integrating them into the system. So I think we could probably finish it since we got about halfway, it feels like, through this DLC and through this one whole DLC on its own. And since everything else on the station seems to be done until, I'm guessing, that third DLC, when the integration starts happening, we'll see. I wasn't sure how long the DLC was and how long it was going to take. So, but yeah, so I would say probably at least one more stream, maybe two of this. Unfortunately, this turned out to not be. I was thinking maybe doing this one, the wastes thing. I thought maybe this was going to lead to something if we actually started doing it. It doesn't seem like it does, unfortunately. But what can you do? We'll do one more cycle just to save, so we can start at the beginning of a day. Let's go hang out with our friend. Okay, we don't need any more of that. Ship fragment discount, limited supply. Oh, I guess this is just ruined forever, I guess, huh? Okay, I guess. Huh. You had your chance to haggle the prices. The merchants won't be negotiating further. Because that was like a full rotation ago. Huh. Alright. That's fine. It's not that big a deal. I still have another ship mine, and I'm one part away from having a another ship mine, so. But let's cook some dinner for me and my bar-owning friend. Bam. There we go. Perfect. Alright, since, I mean, we need to be up here anyway, just go back up here. Where are we on the mushroom thing? Okay, I got 2 more harvests of this I'm gonna need to do. And we've got caps. Okay. Yeah, we should be good though. Now we can get 3 energy by getting a 6 on this, huh? That's kind of crazy. Alright, we'll end the cycle. Oof, that's not great. We've got a 2, a 3, a 1, a 3, and a 6. It's not terrible. It's just not good either. Okay. Nothing seems to have changed. So I think we're okay here. We're not on any timers yet, and the module has been good about not lying to me about timers. If something's on a timer, even if it's something we don't know about, it will tell me that there's a timer going. So I don't think this is on a hidden timer that I can't see. The module has been good about that. So I think we're good to just finish the rest of this up before we start this. So I feel like this is going to be the thing that starts the timer for all of this activity. Because it sounds like this is going to start, and then we're going to have to deal with getting like ready for the flux. And then I think once we're ready for the flux, I think the third part of the DLC will be integrating these people into the station itself. Once we figured out how to deal with the flux. Maybe a little bit of a timer thing in there with like the next big charge coming before we're ready or whatever, and we have to get ready for the last big shot from the flux. But yeah, so I think we'll be good to just deal with getting these ships ready of their own accord. But yeah, I think we're good. 69 seconds ago. That's fine. I think that's fine. What am I doing? Bam. But yeah, I think overall that this has still been super, super interesting for me. It's fine. I don't think it's particularly difficult. Obviously, there's RNG involved, and I feel like overall we've been very, very lucky with the RNG. I would say we've had more 4, 5s, and 6s than we've had 1, 2, and 3s, I think, overall. But I think with the reroll and the fact that you can get pluses and there's safe activities that you can do to just make progress, even if it's not great progress, really helps offset some of those 1s. I don't feel like this module is meant to be super challenging. I think it's just meant to be an interesting version of like a walking simulator, but with actual requiring strategy, if that makes sense. Of course, the lurkers, thank you. You have the Twitch roll go around. We always appreciate you. Anybody who checks out the VODs here on Twitch or checks out the VODs on the YouTube repository, thank you. It's always Greatly appreciated. Seeing those numbers helps keep me motivated. If you need a well thought out solution, you need a thinking solution. Ravenhill Brook Inc. Thinking Solutions. But yeah, thanks again, everyone. I hope you have a good rest of whatever you're up to. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Yeah. Bye.